Hey guys, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we? How are you? How am I? It's 11:33 a.m. Today is the 5th of November 2022. Are my UK people up? Nigeria, and I don't wake. Say hello if you don't wake, if you are not still sleeping. Say hi in the comment section. Let me know if you can hear me. Achowe salute to good morning. How on a day? Yeah. Anybody up? Abi we still a nap? Are we still sleeping? We're trying to snooze. If anybody is trying to snooze this morning, I no blame on Ajari. Even myself, I need them. Honestly, I was about to, but you know, when your body don't they used to the wake up, no matter how much you think you want to, you know, go fit. At least not immediately. You go first wake up, then before you can do one or two things, then you can't go back to bed again. Hello, good morning. Sharon, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Actually, hello, Taiwo, Bankole, welcome. Cherished Olivia, good morning. Divine. Chidimma, good morning. One legend, good morning. Welcome. How on a day? I hope your week went well. Thank you, Taiwo, for confirming. Good morning, Joyce Reality. Adeton, good morning. Ilorin in Kwara State. Wow. Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me, Adeton. All the way from Ilorin. I always like to know where people are joining from, especially people who join from Africa. I'm curious to know how many people know about Obodooyinbo TV show in Africa. Achowe salute. Good morning. Nigerians are early risers. We sabi wake up early for that country. Like you see people waking up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So yeah, nice to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you. How buddy? I hope you are well. I hope we did okay. I hope everybody's fine. And I welcome. Yeah, thumbs up as you come in. Yeah, Cherish Olivia. Help us tell them. I just wake up this morning. There's something in my mind. You know the kind of person if something in my mind, if I never talk, I'll no go rest. I think, sometimes the Holy Spirit lays things in my heart. And until I say it out, I'm not gonna have peace. That's why when they talk about that prophet that day, where would they talk, saying see vision. And they wonder how you take see vision. And if you know something, or if God lays something in your heart, you've got to share it. You have to, because you don't know who they help. You don't know who they out there when need that information. Very, very important. So I woke up this morning and something was laid in my heart, and I want to share it with you guys. I'm not going to be long. Yeah. Give us a thumbs up as you are coming in. So that last video where I do so, I don't know how many of you caught that video yet. I did a video about this woman on the screen, so where they stay for UK here. And for that video, we talk about parenting. Now, parenting matter we just discuss for that video, because not be matter where be suit anybody for, but let's say this auntie, when it be don't come Obodooyinbo, we know, it's even easy for people where they come Obodooyinbo now. Those days to come Obodooyinbo not easy like that, People go through a lot of different routes to come Obodooyinbo. Even now, self, not be say it's still easy like that. So, I mean, even if not be Obodooyinbo, even if not Nigeria, person supposed born pikin, he go enjoy the fruit of his labor. If you born pikin, na blessing. one of the blessings when God give people, human beings, now the fruit of, the womb, having a child. Mm? Nina, what did you say? You said that hope you are doing great. It's a cook up storm kind of day over here. Stockfish and protein cooking already. Ah, that's very good. Please cook it up, oh. Cook up, cook up, cook up. Very, very necessary. I'm gonna cook as well. I've already brought out some of the things to prep what I'm gonna cook. I don't enjoy cooking, so I do it reluctantly when I have to. But I'm going to drag myself, and I want to make some sauce. I want to make one or two sauces today. My family, they love my cooking so much because as I be cook well. My mama teach me well. But now energy no dey. If na Nigeria we dey now, you say again. Now one of the things when me make person they like Nigeria be that. Mm? If na Nigeria now, don't tell house guests, say, I will go wash the meat for me. Eh? Do this for me, do this for me. Me will all come blend them together. Mm? Later Aruna said, Egba me auntie B is 6:37 a.m. Chai. I hail you. More greetings. Thank you. What can we say? When the spirit directs, you have to obey. Our own is obedience. So Singapore. Hey. Somebody is from Singapore. Taiwo Bankole said, greeting from Singapore. It's 7:36 p.m. So is that PM on Saturday or PM on Friday? I'm confused now. Are you on Saturday or you're on Sunday? I don't even know which day now. If it's PM, I'm suspecting that is Friday, if I'm right. Okay. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, for tuning in. Eh? If you say Auntie B, her mouth is watering. You say her mouth they water, I will go resemble for your front door. Ah, I be all over Shibi. When you hear Yoruba say all over Shibi, as I be cook. I don't mean to brag, but I can cook. As I be toast up some fantastic food. So it's so bad that if I pay person to cook for me, my children go tell me say, even my husband go talk and say, he not sweet reach the one when me they cook by myself. Now me be the now me sabi. Ah, welcome everybody. It's Saturday, Taiwo. Oh, you're already in the evening on Saturday. Wow. Salute the whole of Singapore for us. So greetings from Ghana. Oh, from Canada, Ghanaian daughter. Jessica, you're welcome. Welcome, my Ghanaian daughter. I had you. Welcome, darling. I appreciate you. Give us a thumbs up. Hmm? Thank you very much, everybody. I'm just trying to make conversation and pleasantry. Maybe we'll greet small so that people will get a bit more people in the studio. Hamdala Ali said, good day, pretty auntie. Be happy weekend and continue to remain blessed, man. Thank you very much, Hamdala. God bless you, my darling. I appreciate you for joining us this morning. Ade Kale Jaye said, it's 4:39. You are in Arizona. Good morning, Auntie B. Thank you so much. Ade, welcome. Thank you for making it a day with us as early as 4:39 a.m. Modupe o. I appreciate you all. God bless you. So let's jump in quickly because we'll not go take for this one. I just want to pass some vital information out, and it's about parenting. And I particularly want to talk about child mental health this morning. Okay? Now, child mental health matter I want to talk. So when we be talk this anti matter, I think it was 2 days ago. We say we don't know what happened. A lot of people did say whether na mental health now contribute to waiting happen for this situation. So some people can't leave comments. And then you say, Auntie B, hey, finally caught a live. It's 10:11 a.m. in South Australia. Wow. So, when I do this show different times of the day, I think it's actually good for people who live in other time zone like Australia. Thank you so much. Amen you. Appreciate you. Welcome, welcome. How is Australia? I hope everybody is good. Right. So somebody can't leave comment for that last show that I did about this auntie where we be talk say na in Peking, na in on life farm. Now in can talk say the person can talk say the person's name is Princess Holloway, right? In can talk say Princess Holloway can talk say Nelly's voice, good morning, welcome. Ma I read the comments. Yeah. Thank you everybody that is coming in. I acknowledge you, I appreciate you. If I don't fish out you, not because I don't want to, but I just wanted to get on with it so that we'll not go too tail. Remember, say I need to go and cook. And I'm sure you guys have your chores, and some people are still want to go back to bed and snooze, which is well deserved because everybody don't work. You don't work during the week, so weekend for some people is relaxation. Mm. Please make una thumbs up as you're coming in. Give us a thumbs up. The thumbs up have been really good recently. Thank you so much, everybody. Subscribe if you never subscribe. So this morning, I want to talk about child mental health. How many of you now know say not as adults they get sickness, now so children too they get sickness. As adults they get mental health, now so children too they get mental health. Do we have that understanding in our community? Because we know say for our culture, mm, mm, for our culture, anything mental health related is unfortunately hush hush. They know they talk am, keep quiet, so no let anybody hear, because of so many, stigma attached to it. So a lot of people, even adults, they suffer in silence. They know they talk. And if they not talk, as a result of not talking, they know they get help. If something they pain you, you not talk, say if they pain you. Now you know say they pain you, you go continue to suffer, unfortunately. So in case you don't know, you think say na only adults they suffer from mental health. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to inform you that as children, as adults they get mental health problem, children too they get. Okay? If you don't know that one today, I beg know am. Know am today. Some children they suffer from mental health. Most times, we know they recognize them in our community. We know they recognize them. So children they suffer from mental health. I beg. I just want to create that awareness today in case you don't know. So I go read the comment, then I do a bit of very quick research now I do before we start. I want us to talk more about parenting because it be like say we know today talk about parenting, and parenting it be something that will be big issue. We dey talk a lot about relationship and marriages, but we know they talk about parenting as much. But a lot of parents are struggling. Obodooyinbo parents, Nigerian parents, African parents in diaspora, even parents in Nigeria self. People they struggle. So I think we need to talk about parenting quite a lot more. So this my subscriber, what do they call Princess Hello, we can't talk. Say he get cousins. See, I have a cousin with mental health, and his mom has tried everything to help him. He is 33 years old and still lives at home with her. 33 years old, still they live with his mama. And she said, I am concerned because anytime he asks her for money, when she says no, he gets angry and starts to cuss her out. When I watched your channel this morning, I called my auntie immediately to watch this show. So now two things there. The boy get mental health. He's 33 years old. He still they stay for home with his mama. Okay? He no mention papa, so I don't know whether now only mama did the picture. He say she done everything to help him. He asked for money. Because anybody who I discuss this matter with, they always does in a money matter go there inside. Hmm? Money, maybe he ask mama for money, not give am. AM said, thanks for this discussion. As a child social worker, I'm aware of child mental health. A lot of children are experiencing depression. Thank you, AM. I think we need to do more to create awareness in our community so that people are aware. People recognize the signs. Okay? People need to know. Because a lot of people, they are suffering in silence. Like I said, some parents, they don't tire. They don't do everything within their power. Everything seems not to work. They go church, they go do deliverance, they will do prayers, they'll do everything. Very, very big issue in our community. Nina says, yes, so mental health in kids is a big issue. Even though our people unfortunately do not want to believe or accept that mental health is a thing, is a big issue in both kids and adults. Absolutely. So that person that said that comment said, in your auntie, that she's dealing with her own child with mental health. And this is a boy now. He's not even a child anymore. He's a man. He's a grown man, 33 years old. Still, they ask the mama for money. They stay for house. He say if mama no give her money, now say go they cost the mama. You know, see and so say na wahala. He say when he say immediately he hear what happened to this auntie where we'll be talking stories. So when I say na in Peking, na in delete and say he just quickly call the auntie, may go to watch the show. May can't listen. I mean, you don't even want to imagine what that woman is going through. I don't even need to know her to know that she's going through hell. Children are supposed to be a blessing. That one, a blessing still be so. Now, blessing, that one still be so. It's still a blessing, but it's not presenting as blessing now. It can't become blessing where be say, don't they bring another thing for person life where be say the woman, the mama no get peace. She not get peace. So, kila ti fe she buy. Eh? She no get peace. They ask the mama for money. He say if you no give her, na so you go dey just dey you go dey give your mama serious gbasgbos. God I beg. Any temptation where go pass our power, no give us. So Father Lord, we pray, have mercy. So that same comment, when that person put that comment, and that person can't still talk and say, and that person put a comment there, can't talk say not true. Waiting that other person talk, waiting Princess Holloway talk, say the man beep say, my sister is facing the same problem too. Her son is 26 years old and still lives with my sister. So you know, so now the one where they talk their own be this, so the ones where they not talk, we don't know. Mental health is a serious issue in our community. Very, very serious. Are people aware? And I'm particularly worried about the one where they talk say these children that they are still these men now. They are men now. I want to believe that it started at some point when they were children. That the thing has now, it's been with them for years. They are adults now, and they are living at home with women or their mothers who may not be able to deal with, the symptoms, all the things that they are presenting with. They might not be able to deal with it. So information is very, very crucial. Information. I did a quick Google search before we start. Myself, when they ask Google, say, what do they cause mental health, mental disorders in children? And this is what I found. It talks say the exact cause of most mental disorders is not known, but that research suggests that it's a combination of factors, including heredity. That means what you inherit. What you inherit for parents, grandparents, community, family thing. You inherit them. Now one of the causes be now what they cause mental disorders be that. Another thing is saying about biology. So that one, I don't somebody don't talk and sometimes say when some things where be the person brain hormonal imbalance, I been an imbalance of I know be experts, but people where they be expert don't explain that to me one time. Say it get as things where the person brain no align where make I use very something that all of us can probably relate to, like car. Let's say like car engine. Maybe waiting suppose they car engine oil, water and everything go make the engine work. If one thing cause short, if engine oil no dey car, the car go pafuka, go work well. It's not a very good analysis, but I'm just trying to make it so that we'll understand. Some things in biology, biology just mean our makeup, waiting there, our body, brain, body, our internal organs, all the things will make us, physiologically as human being. They say if it be saying now something in the present biology, okay, it still talk about psychological trauma. People wey don't go through so many things that happen to them. For instance, when you know pikin experience something where it be say maybe one parent kpai, early, or family member or something, different things they cause, psychological trauma for body. Anatomy, thank you. Keeping up with Jenny, yeah. So if na psychology, all those kind of things where they cause psychological trauma, it fit still contribute to mental disorder. And the last one when I see for that quick, and this list is not exhaust, it's not like it's not the full list too. Like I said, now just a quick Google search what I do. Now give me this one what they tell you now. So the point of creating this video is for to create awareness, make people know. Say these things they happen. You want to call in Sharon? Okay. All right, no problem, Sharon. Let me share my link because we are not going to be long. If you have information that can help people, you work in mental health or child and adolescent services. Yeah, a lot of things that can happen. Somebody, Chindiman says, psychological trauma. Say that one, this part makes me think of us as just children. Yeah, they will need a lot of help because children, they internalize things. You see the way we're talking to those children that day? They were very chatty, they were smiling, everything you ask them, fine, fine, fine. Because they go, it be like say they go just package the pain, hide them somewhere, but it did their body. It's still there somewhere. They might not realize it now because they are still very young, but it's there. We just pray that, God will help them. And hopefully people that say they want to help them to access therapy will come through. Because we know now one thing for people to promise, now another thing for them to do what they promise. You understand? So I'm praying that anybody where saying want help them, make God touch their mind, make they really help them. So people should not please be in denial. Parents, don't be in denial. So some of the signs, when I still find quickly when I did a Google search just now, the warning signs of mental illness in children. Persistent sadness. When people go just they sad, they happy. Just continuous sadness lasts up to 2 weeks or more. So parents, pay attention. If you have children that are persistently sad, sadness where it reach up to 2 weeks, just a sad. You ask them what happen? Nothing. You just they withdraw. Just withdraw. They just withdraw, keep to themselves. They know they interact. They know go out. They know go talk to their family member. They know play with their siblings. Just be like say they live on their own. They are in their own world. I bet more na watch them. More na watch them because according to this, what this website is saying is a warning sign of mental health in children. Number 2, withdrawing from or avoiding social interaction. You just withdraw. You don't want to go out. They don't get friends. Even when they get friends before, they don't cut them off. They don't they talk to them again. They know they relate to anybody. So all those kind of things are the things that we need to watch out for. Withdrawing. The kids suppose they bubbly. Or okay, not all children they bubbly, but at least not withdrawing. When you be say no go won't go anywhere. Anywhere you won't go. I'm that Lanty B. Please kindly read the chat from one legend. May the good Lord continue to ease our affairs. One legend. It's not always easy to keep up with the charts while I'm trying to read. One angel say, I just asked my daughter what can make a child have mental issues. She said African parents cause it. Wow. That one deep. Oh. Can you don't get upset to one legend, I beg. Tell her to expatiate. If a child is saying something like that, you need to find out. So ask them to tell you a bit more. Ask them more questions. Say, okay, wait, why? Tell me why you feel so. So yeah, please tell them to expatiate. No just, no just react the normal way. No shout for them. Tell them to expatiate. Why it talks say, why did that child said African parents can cause a child to have mental health? Is it because of shouting? Nagging? Is it because we want them to achieve so much? Because we drive them, say make the read book. We want them to be successful. Is that why? We need to know. Because these conversations, as difficult as they are, we need to have them. Ask them, what did she mean? May I give you example of what she mean by say African parents fit cause am. Because that one deep. It deep well, oh. Eh? Especially if say our our obodooyinbo children don't like nagging. If they don't like nagging, may they do things when they go make parents nag them now. The parents say easy to nag. You know, easy to nag. There is a reason why people they nag. They nag because they are frustrated. Now, why did they nag with that? So, another one, when I see for that place now, when, Pikin go, they talk things when no, you not really align. As if you want to talk, say, I want to do something to myself. I want to do something to myself. All those kind of things when not make sense. They talk, all those kind of things when not make sense. Say, I won't do this, I won't do that. Won't hurt himself, all those kind of things. They talk about their feeling in a way where be saying not they positive. I want to delete myself, all those kind of things. Behavior, outburst, extreme behavior, out of control behavior. That one too now all indication of mental health. Oh. Now all indications, so we need to be aware. We must be aware. This thing one we hear say happen for Dagenham, so my people, it's not the first time. It don't happen for that area too. It don't happen. This is the second time it happening in that same area, incidentally. This matter, it's happened there before. It's happened before. Jessica said, I'm 31 years old and I just share with my parents my own mental health struggles. They offered money to help, but really, they just don't have the tools and knowledge to connect. That's true. That's true because we are often, it's not an area that we are familiar with. And a lot of us are not comfortable with it, Jessica. I'm really sorry that you are going through this. Hopefully, you'll be able to get help, not from your parents, you can only help what you understand. If they can pay for therapy for you to go and see expert, at least they are trying to help. So please, don't write them off or don't blame them too much. It's an area that is very uncomfortable for a lot of African parents. We are not comfortable talking about mental illness, especially when it has to do with our family. Yoruba has a very, this saying, you don't even want to know what that means. Somebody that understands Yoruba should interpret it in the comment section for other people to understand. This is how dreadful it is for a lot of people to even engage with the fact that your member, a member of your family is struggling with their mental health or they have mental health issues. It's not something we are comfortable with at all. It's not something that we are comfortable with. Yeah. Yeah. We are not comfortable. A lot of people don't know anything about it. We are even ashamed of it. We feel terrible. And don't forget, sometimes as a parent, Jessica, I don't know if you understand this, but you are very aware. So I want to believe that you understand this. As a parent, sometimes you want to blame yourself. If your children are going through stuff, you'll be wondering, you'll be questioning yourself, "Wait, is it my fault? Have I contributed to it? Is it because of what I've done or failed to do?" You question yourself a lot. Yesterday, I told my friend we're having a conversation and we're talking about parenting again. We'll be talking about parenting quite a lot. Now I can tell and say, you know what? It comes to a point as a parent where you just need to stop blaming yourself. If you know you've done the best, you acknowledge the fact that even yourself, you gone, you are a caretaker. It's God that has these children. You are just a caretaker that is looking after them. You just surrender it to God. A lot of parents have anxiety over their children because they think, okay, maybe I'm working too much. Maybe I didn't give them the time that they needed. Maybe I didn't involve them in activity, but I'm trying to work to put food on the table. I'm trying to earn a living. Who is going to pay all these bills? Never mind the fact that as you are working your ass off, responsibility in Nigeria, they are calling you per minute per second. You are the same person. So it's not easy, oh, my people. Ugo says African parents need to allow their children vent. Don't just shut them down by saying, go to your room. Shut up. Famous one is, God forbid, not my child. Just listen. Now, wow, it's not easy. Oh, it is not easy at all. Yeah, it's not. You are right. We need to listen. We need to learn it. We have to learn to listen. Oh, you are right. Absolutely. Especially say most especially single mothers. Yeah, it's not easy for even both parents. Single mothers have to work. You have to earn an income. You have to take care of these children. You need to put food on the table. You need to pay your bills. If you don't have any support, like in this UK now, when we know that what do they call that support? Child maintenance is most times people don't even pursue it because it's nothing to write home about. Unlike in you guys that live in the US, where you put your ex or your baby daddy on child support. Not only you juggling those things. Yes, trying to strike a balance between working, paying bills, being available emotionally for your children. It's not always easy. But parents, let's be aware. Children do suffer from mental health. And sometimes it's not even from what you've done or what you failed to do. Like that quick research that I showed you guys, that one, it said sometimes it's biology, it's hereditary. If you did family, say person God forbid your child inherit them, then you can't change your family now. You cannot change your family. Thank you, Faith. Welcome. Say thanks, Auntie B, for raising awareness. Yeah, you cannot change your family. What you go do? I think sometimes too, children put a lot of blame on their parents. Parents, they try. Parents are humans too. Parents are not perfect. Parents make mistakes. So sometimes children should cut their parents some slack. When you become parents, now you go know say it's not easy. Now you go know say it's not easy. It's easy for you when you are not a parent to be very critical of your parents. I'm not saying that parents they always get it right. It's not always easy. Sometimes parents make mistake. But when you become a parent, you too, you will have more understanding. You will appreciate your parents more. Nina said, that's me, or Auntie B. I'm always feeling like I'm not doing enough for my kids, oh, but my husband is like, we are doing great. Don't feel that way. I feel guilty when I'm tired. But I'm tired. Yeah. That's the parent's guilt. You always feel guilty. Anything you want to do, you be feeling guilty. It's lie. It's not easy. Being a parent is hard. AJ said, since B stigmatization is one of the reasons why African parents don't want to talk about mental health illness. Yes, stigma is a big one. It's a big stigma. Wait till people go talk. Waiting people go talk. Waiting people go talk. What will people say? What will people say? Flaky must say single parents should let children have relationship with their fathers. It's very, very important, most especially if they want to be involved in their lives. Absolutely. A child needs both parents. If a father wants to be involved, please do not deny them. That's never a smart option. Don't use children to punish their father. Waiting happen between you and them is on a different level. Children should not, they don't need to suffer, because of problems in relationship. You know work. But parents still need both parents if they are willing. Mm? Abby is talking about the spiritual aspect that Auntie B, as much as it is advisable to get professional help, looking at it from a spiritual angle is also important because depression is a spirit. So combining the professional and spiritual is vital. Hmm. Depression is a spirit. I'm very, very wary in saying in trending or in that analysis. I'm very, very weary about that because our people can get very hung up on saying depression is a spirit. I don't know if depression is a spirit. That's the truth. I don't know. I don't know if you can cure depression, you know, by spiritual means. Prayer works, but I don't want to go that way. Ebby, let's be careful because our people we over spiritualize things already. So let's not help people to also be perpetuating those things. The reason why a lot of our people know even they look for help now because of all those things. It's a spirit. It's a spirit. Our people believe that mental health is a spirit. So the only way to cure it is to go to deliverance. And they will not go to doctors or get therapy or get medication because of that. So Abby, I don't want to go that route, if you see what I mean. Yeah, I don't want to go that route. Let's talk, about things that will help people because our people already believe. So a lot of people already believe that it's my enemy that is doing me. It's my enemy. And I'm not saying that there are no enemies. Alone. I attend a spiritual church. I'm a spiritual being. I believe in spirituality, but we need to be careful because our people tend to over spiritualize everything. Like Carlene is saying now, if you say depression is a spirit, are you also going to say that sadness and happiness is a spirit? So we need to be careful. Let's be careful around that spirituality, okay? Let's be careful because what we are trying to do is encourage people to seek help, professional help, because our people don't need help to seek spiritual help. A lot of our people have their pastors and prophets on speed dial 247 in Nigeria, everywhere in the world. They are calling pastors 247, calling prophets, going to Orioke. So they don't need help in that area. What we need help in is getting the awareness out that this thing is a medical issue and it can happen to both children and adults. And people need to find help on how to cope. And honey babe, I can see you in the studio. Thanks for coming in, for joining us. I'm going to take your contribution. Your camera is on. Are you comfortable with that? Just to let you know. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the reason why I'm saying that is because as I was doing my quick Google search this morning, talking about the causes of all these mental behavior and mental health issues in children, especially, this is what I found: that ADHD, anxiety problems, behavior problems, depression are the most common diagnosed mental disorders in children. And this is the stats there. You can see ADHD, anxiety. Because if you want to say spiritual, we're also going to say that ADHD is spiritual. I don't want to go that way because it's going to get everything muddled up. Some people will always believe that everything is spiritual. But I want to believe that life is made up of both the spiritual and the natural, right? Anxiety, the stats are there, behavior issues, depression, all this. So it's about creating that awareness in our community, This thing is real. It happens. If you notice it, seek help. Don't hide it. That is the most important thing that I want people to take away from this early morning show where we say, I'm not even supposed they here today now. Hmm? Honey babe, you're welcome. Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Essex. I'm in the
Welcome.
UK.
All right.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say that I was born and brought up in the UK, so I have a different perspective to probably other listeners. But I'll be very candid. My son has ADHD. He's 10 now. He had a few behavior issues when he was in nursery. And thank God I had a very good friend of mine, and the nursery staff said he needs to get a referral. So he
Right.
was diagnosed with ADHD when he was 7. Now,
Right.
because probably I was born and brought up in the UK, I now decided to research. There's Google. You can find that information.
Yeah.
So ADHD is a behavior, as you said, and basically the brain deals with things differently. He has issues with socialization. He has learning difficulties. But one thing I know is that in the UK, you get help.
Yes.
Luckily for me,
Yes.
luckily for me, as a mother and being born and brought up in the UK, my perspective is he needs to get help. I did not go to any church. I did not do the whole spiritual thing because there's autism, there's ADHD, there's dyslexia. Are you saying dyslexia, as you know, you have issues reading? Is that
Yes.
one a spiritual issue? No, it isn't. The father is Nigerian, so he didn't accept it. But luckily, with education, and me, I'm very into researching. We got the help he needed. He got a referral to a pediatrician.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an education healthcare plan, and he's thriving. He gets the
Amen.
support he needed. One thing that helps me is that I have a lot of Oyibo friends. A lot
Yeah.
of their children have ADHD, autism. You're a social worker, so you know where I'm coming from. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it helped in terms of we talked, we went to coffee mornings, and what we realized is that it's easy to get help. It's like having high blood pressure. You
Hmm.
diagnose it and you get the help that you need.
Hmm.
You understand? One thing about me is that I don't really hang around with my Nigerian community. Maybe that's what helped me. So I
Hmm.
didn't have to deal with the toxicity of, it's spiritual, is this, is that. There's a lot of friends of mine, Nigerian friends, that their children have mental health or ADHD or autism, but they're in denial
Hmm.
because it's a stigma. Me, I not
Hmm.
send stigma. My son
Hmm.
is my son. Stigma is not my issue right now. It's getting him the help that he needs. Because there's a lot of children, especially boys, that are excluded from school because the parents are not accepting there's an issue with their child. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Mm-hmm.
ignoring them. They are having behavior problems, depression, suicidal thoughts, and the parents are going about their business in denial, and those children are suffering. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Our
Let me ask you
community
this,
needs.
honey,
Mhm.
honey babe. You said
Yeah, go
something
on.
that when your son was first diagnosed, that the
Mhm.
father did not accept it. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you were able to walk through that for him to now know that,
Because
you know,
because he was born and brought up in Nigeria, I was born. So it's already there's two different cultures. Me, I'm the type of person that any issue I have, I research, I find that information. His attitude was that it's not from my family. Oh, that's what he said. Let me be real. I
right?
was very, very upset. But I now had to tell him that, listen, it can happen to anybody. It's not a case where it's some kind of disease or anything. There's many, as SENS. There's so many SENS children. What I mean by SENS is special education. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
In
special
terms of,
educational,
yeah,
yeah,
especially
needs,
in the
yes.
schools that help children with ADHD, with autism, dyslexia, etc., etc. There's a lot of children that have these type of conditions. Eventually, with research and the type of very person that I am, I got him to realize that, listen, our son is not some kind of leper. He just needs help. The way he views things is different to the way that he views things. Do you understand what
Amen.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm very academic. The dad is not. He's very kind of practical. I just look at it like that. And
Hmm.
he's in year 6 now. He's gonna go to secondary school next year. I'm very conscious. I have to make sure that the type of school that he goes into will give him that support. But let me give you an example. There's a friend of mine. Her daughter is 16 right now. She had ADHD. Do you know she's applying to Cambridge?
Wow.
Yes. So you don't
Wow.
write off a child because they have issues. Yes, because she got the support from her mum. She was a single mum and support from the school. This girl is applying to Cambridge. So a
Hmm.
child that has ADHD, autism, or whatever is not someone that you write off. You give them the support.
Yeah.
You
I
have
think
to
it's not
support
it's
them.
not as much as writing off, honey babe. It's as
Mm.
like what you were saying about how your partner said, oh, it's not mine. I mean, it doesn't happen in my family or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
no, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
denial,
yeah. It
and
really
because
upsets
of
me,
the
but
stigma. The stigma.
it's the stigma. But I had to make research. I said to him, stop this nonsense. And because I had friends talking to him and going to the school, or you board, they're very good with stuff. They explain it. We sat down in meetings to discuss what we need to help this child. Because the most important thing is that you need to help this child get the support that he needs. You
Hmm.
understand? I
Yes.
mean, with ADHD, when we first got him diagnosed, the pediatrician said he should be medicated. I refused because I believe that if you have any condition, you have to learn to live with it. ADHD, part of the condition is that he's very forgetful. He cannot sit still. He has learning difficulties. So there's a bit of a gap between his learning and his peers in year 6. But
Right.
little by little, with the support, because with ADHD and a lot of mental health conditions, I don't even call it mental health. I don't believe in that word personally. I just think it's like me having high blood pressure. It's just a condition you live with. You understand what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
like to call it a mental health condition.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very negative perception of a condition. So I don't accept that. But with the support that he's getting, he's doing lessons, he's doing football, he's making friends. It is difficult because with ADHD and other kind of autism and stuff, they struggle with friendships. It's the socialization.
Right.
Something that is very like easy for you and me to make friends. We got loads of friends, maybe 200 on Facebook. It's difficult for children like my son.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It's very difficult. But even me, I had to change the way that I dealt with him because I'm very much blah 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 blah. Do this, do that, do this. So with help from the school, help from the council, help from a lot of advisories, there's a lot of help out there for
That's
people.
where I'm going to.
There's a lot of help. I mean, there's a lot of help out there. You need to research. There's a lot of, groups like PATT, Parental Advisory Group. That's a group in where I am in Essex that will give you the support, the education, the resources to speak
Yeah.
to the schools to
You
get the
see?
help that you
Yeah.
need.
Honey babe, thank you very much for that. You are going that's where exactly where I'm going to. So because our
Mm,
people are not speaking,
yes.
we are not, first of all, because a lot of our people are in denial.
Yeah.
They are binding and casting that, condition away, and they
Yeah.
are not
It
seeking
doesn't,
help.
the thing is, it doesn't work because you're in church fasting and praying, and this child is struggling. He's at school, he's getting bullied. The teachers are writing him off because they don't know that he has a sense need. Because once you identify whether it's ADHD, autism, he will get an education healthcare plan, which is something that in correlation with the council and the school, we're helping get the support, whether it's a physiotherapist, whether it's a counselor, whether he needs extra lessons. All this is encompassed in the plan that will help him through his school years. Do you understand?
Yeah. So that will help the child to thrive, because where I was
Yes,
going to
yes,
is that
yes.
because we are ashamed,
Me,
we
I'm
don't
not
want to be
ashamed, though. Me, I'm not
stigmatized,
ashamed.
we don't want to
Because
seek
at the end
help.
of the,
So
yeah.
as a
Mm,
result of not, first of all, acknowledging that, okay, let me go and get help. Let me even
there's a
acknowledge that,
problem.
okay,
Yeah,
this child,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
something that is going on here that I need help for.
Exactly,
So they
exactly,
don't get the
exactly.
right support because people are not actively even accepting it themselves.
And the thing is, if you're not accepting it, this child is not getting the help and support. It will aggravate his mental health issue and he'll be so depressed because he won't be happy going to school. And the teachers, like I said, will be writing him off because they don't know there's an issue. Because if, like I said, my son is not violent, he just has issues with his learning and friendships. There's some children that are the extreme. With any mental health condition, there's always the extremes. Autism, you can have a borderline or you can go to nonverbal and be very violent. ADHD is the same. So there's spectrums. Do you understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
sis? There's
Yes,
spectrums
I do.
of mental health
I do.
conditions.
Yeah, I
So
do.
some
I do.
children, like I said, they're not getting the help, whether they're autistic or whether they're whether they're autistic or autism. They're in their shell. They can't talk they can't talk to their parents. They can't talk to the school. The parents don't understand because all they're doing is going to church, loosing and binding. And the child now, little by little, goes back and back and back. And next thing you know, you have what we had because
Yeah.
the parents are not understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
A child that has autism or ADHD or any kind of mental health condition is just a child that is different. He's still
Yes.
special in his own way.
Amen.
You understand?
Absolutely.
My son, they said, we had a meeting to discuss obviously going to secondary school, and they said he's thriving. They said that he's such a lovely child, a pleasure to teach, quote unquote. Do you
Mm.
understand? Because
Yeah.
he's getting the right support.
Thank you
You can
very
end,
much for that.
that's all I
Mm.
wanted to say, that we need to stop this stigma. Me, I've
Yeah.
come on the phone. If anybody knows me, I don't even business. I don't care. I have no problem saying that my son has ADHD and is getting the support he needs. I have no problem saying that. I'm not ashamed
Yes.
of my son. I will never be ashamed of my son.
Why should you?
Why
Why
should I?
should you be
He's just different.
ashamed of
He's just different.
of a
I have two
blessing that
children.
God has given
Yeah,
you? Why should
exactly.
you be?
Exactly. I'm not going
I
to.
finally, what I'm going to say to you, honey babe,
Mm,
thank you so much for
no problem.
speaking up very strongly in this way,
Mm, no
because
problem.
it's not something that is common in our community. What I'm going to say about
Lies.
these adult
Mm-mm.
children is
Mm.
that because there is no help, that's why they remain at home with their parents at that age without help.
No, because the thing is that when my son was younger, he had difficulty. He was stammering because part of the ADHD, he was very, very low in his self-esteem. Now he doesn't stammer anymore. I mean, obviously, the child of ADHD, because of the type of condition they have, they're very forgetful. So I have to constantly say, do this, remember this. Little by little, he can do things himself. Before, I have to be doing everything. Now, with maturity and support, he's 10 now. So by the time he's 16, with the support, he should be able to do things independently. Do you understand? The plan is that if he doesn't go to university, he will do a vocational or even do something else. Me, I'm not bothered about the whole uni thing, but I know that he will thrive and he will flourish with the
Amen.
right support.
Amen. Well done. Well done. What a great and
So I
amazing
don't normally
mother.
call him, but I was very
Mm.
passionate because literally, my son is, has got ADHD, and I didn't like what I was hearing. They need
Yeah.
to understand that it's not a negative; it's just a condition like having high blood pressure. Something
Yeah.
that high blood pressure. Do you
Yeah.
not get medication? Finish.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
No
You are so
problem.
right. You are so right, because I see when people have physical health issues, nobody stigmatizes them. If you have cancer, everybody be like, oh, ew, hello, Joe. They have empathy. People have empathy. But when it comes to mental health, we need to destigmatize these things. We have to. That is part of where we are going to in terms of creating awareness and information. And like I was saying to that beautiful, strong woman, honey babe, that just spoke, all these grown men, whether they did for house so with their mama, they are still living with their mothers. If you check, they never had any help to deal with their mental health. Because if they had help at that age, they shouldn't even be living with their mother. Their accommodation for people who are struggling like that mentally, whatever condition you have, they have accommodation. UK is so good when it comes to supporting people with all kinds of conditions medically. They have accommodation that this when they've grown to become adult, they shouldn't even live at home anymore because the parents cannot cope. Then they should be in special accommodation. First of all, I think I'm going to summarize by saying that later on before we finish. If your pikin they behave that way, you need to get help, get help, speak out, go to the GP, let them be referred to services that will help them. Because even that accommodation thing, because the two cases I'm telling you about, these two Nigerian women, one when it happened the other day in the same area in London, Dagenham, East London, the same area. Both of them were adults living at home with their mothers. They delete their mama. Why are they even living at home if you cannot cope with their behavior? Tell them, take them to get the help so that they get their own accommodation and they have services that will support them. Because you can't do it. You can't. It's hard. All right, let's move on. Thank you so much for that wonderful call. I'm so glad that people are calling in, even though it's early in the day and people are still, joining us to share their knowledge. God bless you. Keeping it real with Jenny. How are you? Welcome.
Auntie Bridget, good afternoon, ma.
How are you, my dear?
I'm fine. Oh, longest time. Don't
Yes,
say I
how
go.
welcome.
Thank God, oh, yeah, ma. Like, thank God, say you bring up this show. Oh my God, I started with a crazy self. Yesterday, I talked through as my friend. All right, my girl, she did 6 years now. When she did those kind 3 to 4 years, they come for school say she gets a verbal issue, like to communicate. So we
Right.
kind of go specialities. So when they call me, I say, okay, no problem. I can't go. They control her everything. Listen, she did kind of delay a little bit. So that's small, she go catch up. Right now, I'm mad. They shout like interpreter. She they talk fast now, like me. But another mother, she said, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, not got my pikin. I said,
Mm-hmm.
can I go control at least? Can I go control first?
Mm-hmm.
If not today, there was still taking today. Why you say God forbid? She said, no, she not will go. Until now, he begin get verbal issue to talk. Now, boy. So yesterday, one of my friends called me say at Pekin, she did 13 years now. They behave abnormal, they so dirty, she no want do anything to wash her mouth. Like she did so strange. She did so rebellious. She don't complain full ground. I can say okay. Maybe she did depressed, so she just rebuke me that moment. Like our Nigerians, to talk with them,
I
they so
bind you, I cast you
stressful.
out. I reject
She
it in
just
Jesus'
rebuked
name.
me. She rebuked me like right there and then. Say like I can say okay, now you know full time okay class woman, you dey work full time. I say fine, Western world you must also, you know they easy. And you get extra 2 children, and that pikin I take care of the rest 2 children while you dey go work. So that pikin now, so she don't have so many pain for her heart, whereby she
Now
don't want
child
to tell you,
carer.
and she dey act,
Now what
yeah,
you
she
they
dey
call
act
child carer be
exactly.
that?
Exactly. So now she dey act strange towards you. Why not sit her down? You say she don't pray. I say, why are you praying? That's the vex me. I think me I be
No,
Christian too.
no,
But
it's
I use
okay
the
to
brain.
pray, but don't just pray without taking action. Not be say prayer
She
no good.
seek for help now. You say she don't pray. She believe in God. God is able. I serve God. I say, me I dey serve devil now, Abi. Me I be pagan. I said they serve God too. But when your brain recall, you must use your brain. Use the brain. Why God give you brain? So use the brain. You don't pray. Okay. Now go out there and work. Come and go look for who go help you out. She said, no, we talk. I said, I come with a few headaches. I said, why you like this? That pikin, when that pikin dey small, she dey take off her rest siblings. And now she's 13 years old now. She say she dey dirty, she dey so rebellious, she no wan go school, she no wan study, nothing. Another one, she dey go adolescent age too, whereby that stage dey kind of dangerous. And many of us being African parents, we go dey shout. When our pikin dey act strange, no dey shout. No dey shout give the pikin. No be all about shouting and beating. Try talk to that pikin, draw closer, like draw upon yourself more. If you dey scream, you dey push that pikin away from your body and you go dey worse the more. Now I tell her, she say she no care, she's work. I say fine, you dey work, you na hard working mother, you dey try your best, e no dey easy. But no dey shout give the girl. Now that pikin need you more and more. Let her talk to you. Listen, open your heart, make she dey talk, make she dey just keep quiet, make she dey talk to you. No be keep quiet, don't talk to me, go to your room. Like I go
Relationship no
pray.
dey there from the beginning. They don't get
Why you
relationship. First of all,
why
you
you
turn the pikin to carer, which is a lot of things when we dey take
exactly
the to children for Africa. Obodooyinbo is still turn the pikin to carer to the care for younger ones. Now,
exactly
why would they tell people to born the one where they feel care for? No go born children, turn them to mothers. A 12-year-old is not ready to be a mother. No turn her to mother to the
at
care for younger
all.
ones. That one is stress. Not say they
Exactly,
don't
man.
take care of their children, their younger one, but don't make them the primary carer of their
You
siblings.
know, e
Hmm.
no good. And now you say she wan try born the fourth, or she get only 3 girls, she want to born 4 boys.
You
Now go
want
say
still
wait
born on
first,
top of all this one where you dey again. He won't
At
born
the
again.
bridge, at the bridge, maybe as in I don't know. I don't know. I thought maybe I just strange with my
He
own
say he won't
thinking.
born again on top of the ones where he
He said
did
she
so.
don't try the boy on. He said she don't pray. God give me the boy child. I said wait first. I said wait first. So like you they walk now. Who won't take care of the boy if the boy won't come? He said I begin. I said Jesus no. I said they act funny. He wants to get that became more stress at 13 years old. Eh?
Hold on. Johnny, hold on. Somebody say, AM say my child can get very aggressive and hurts me. I worry about when I get older if the aggression continue. We need to talk more about this. And she also said that she goes to special school and I speak out. I filled out the CAMS form last night, and as I think she has ADHD as well, and I'm worried about mental health because of the ASD. I don't know what ASD mean. Um, okay, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Diagnosis, getting the diagnosis is the first thing. Go to your GP. If you live in the UK, the first point of contact for any of these things is your GP. Then the GP will make a referral. Okay, the GP will make a referral. If behavior issues there, especially, you cannot cope. At a certain age, you got to go to social services and tell them to help. Not just sit down for inside house, keep quiet and say, oh, he's my child, I'm going to cope. You say, if the behavior continues, you've tried, they have support in place to help with behavior. She's maybe getting therapy, involved in activities. Social services, they have a whole department on this. Okay? Things like, respite, they can take her to go away. I don't know the age. She can go away for some time, maybe 2 weeks, so give you respite. They get accommodation again for young adults. That they put young adults or even children safe with behavior issue, get accommodation for them when parents no fit manage. Because to go let make person no go let pikin go kpai am. Especially if you know say you dey do the right thing. Like they in denial, say, to say, oh, not be me, oh, God forbid, this, that. You getting them all the help, if you know say you know if you cope, you need to get them a social worker. Call them. Every day, be calling them. Be calling them AM. Continue to call that social worker. Tell them they need to do something. Because yourself, you be human being, and there's a limit to what you can put up with if the behavior is extreme. You heard what our first caller said, that there are different spectrum. Maybe her own spectrum is very high. If it's not something you can manage at home, if she needs medication to add to it, then maybe is another option that you can consider. Because I don't think, even as a parent, make pikin come every day they give you basbos for house, they abuse you, they curse you, they give you a problem. That one self no good now. Not good. Ọlọ́run jọ̀ọ́ ṣàánú fún wa. Wahala dey for this life. Oh, may God help us. Keeping up with Jenny, my dear. No waste your energy with that person where you get how many children when say they look for boy. No waste your time. Leave him. No, I know some things me know they bother to talk. Shebi they look for boy, abi you get girls wey no feel raise. Now you
I
won't
just
born boy.
care.
Okay.
I care, Auntie Bridget. I care because I'm
No, you
not
don't care.
small.
Now waste of energy. The care where you care, what you
Exactly.
don't achieve.
Wetin I go tell our mothers, make we try. If our pikin dey act strange, make we seek for help as soon as possible. No, you can say I dey pray. We go dey pray while we go seek for help. Let's seek for help because once they come grow, we dey old, they come dey stay with us. E no dey good, e dey dangerous. So seek help now when you get all the energy, all the time to seek help. Not live in denial. Mostly we Africans, Nigerians, we will seek help. We will seek help as right now.
Thank you,
Bridget,
my
God
dear.
bless you, ma.
Thank you,
Yeah, ma.
dear. Take care, my dear. Have a nice day. You don't do the best when you can. Maybe you need to share these videos of to share with your friend when they look for boy. When they look for boy, a male child. You know, if I dey hear that all those kind of stories saying this day and age, women see they look for female child, they look for male child, the thing they vex me. They find female male child. The one you born, you never feel take care of them. They find male child. If you don't feel raise girl, now boy you won't raise. I beg. Make it continue exactly. Make continue. Continue. Go bring children come this world when you know even they capable of raising. And they find another one. I beg. That already tells me the kind of person that you are anyway, where your mind is. You know, whether they give award for person where born boy and no. Not be boy by mama so. Eh? May not be son. The day they're born, and you say they're not celebrate, they no don't naming ceremony. They give award for saying a boy I been a well, Jenny, may that be your person, may God help him, honestly, because all those kind of women, they reason like that, I can't deal with them. I not fit. I not fit understand where their reasoning they come from. Maybe not their husband, I mean not their say they must born male child, but I can't reason with them. I not fit because that level of thinking is so low in 2022 for me to even engage with. But to tend to is every man for himself, I beg. Yes, you are next, Jerry. Welcome. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning, Auntie B.
How you
Good morning,
doing?
ma. I'm fine, thank you. Well done, well done, well done, ma. I used to have a cousin who by his mother. This woman took this man around everywhere to take. At the end of the day, it happened. But that one, by the way, there was this time I was supposed to, because I've been living alone. My children has been in Nigeria. 2019, I went home. Sometimes children, they fell into depression because sometimes they are in, in the case of when expectation failed, like they are expecting something, they are so happy about it. And something about me, I don't promise children, don't promise them. It's better for you to surprise them. So we've been planning to take them out of Nigeria to my place because my husband is in another country I don't want to mention. So I for me, I went home. I never knew I was just planning alone. This man was not planning with me.
Hmm.
And to be, I was in depression. I was sick. But that one was not even my problem. My baby. My son was just 13. My son refused to go to school because he
Mhm.
refused to come home to sign. They are still kids. Yeah, they will not allow you to bring a child without the signature.
Yeah.
He didn't come, so I had to leave them. My
So
son
was it in
cried.
Nigeria that he was refusing to go to school?
Yes, he refused to go to school.
In Nigeria.
Yeah, sorry, my phone is ringing. Hello, in
You
Nigeria.
said he was
So
refusing to
I
go to
had
school in
to.
Nigeria. Why?
Yes, he
Why?
was
Do you know why?
crying.
Why was he
He
refusing?
was. I later knew why, because he said something. Because for him, he would talk to me, even if he's not going to talk to anybody. Because once I feel something, like I feel something in his voice, I know that he's down. So my
Mm.
mom called me. My mom was so worried. She was like, "Your son, is like you. Any little thing, he will be crying." I'm telling you, just 13-year-old, he will be crying. He cried. He was like, "No, I've told my friend I'm going. I don't want to stay here in this school again." So the mentor have to come talk to him, because you can't force him. And I love my mom. My mom will not even force you. She will just leave you, talk to you, calm you down. So later, he decided to go to school. So recently, that was 2019, but he was doing well. I noticed he was doing well. It was okay, but he loved to play ball. So he just used that to just keep himself so busy. So I was like, please, you need to study. So before I was shouting, screaming, and I found out, no, I don't need to shout. So I calmed him down. I talked to him. There was the day he made a statement. Auntie B, this broke me down. He
Mhm.
said, because I've been begging like you are begging a man to be in the life of a child. Like, I've been begging this man, please be talking to these children. I'm not even asking you to take care of them. I'm the only one, but I never care. But
Mm.
this man is not talking to these children. I will ask him to talk. So later I will make sure. I'm telling you, that day he talked to him, my son didn't tell him anything. He told me something. He said, everybody is hating on me. I said, I'm not hating you. I just want you to study. I explained why. I said, you know why? We want you to be good. We want you to be great. So I noticed he gets so aggressive. So I not told my brother, because my brother liked to talk to him so that he can at least They can interact, then he will talk to him. So one day I told my brother, I said I saw something because now he's 16. So I saw something on his WhatsApp. He said something when it's like a question. He said, when people hate on you, what do you do? Hmm. Auntie B, I was scared.
Why
So
does
I
he
called
feel
my
that?
brother.
Why does he feel that he's hated? Why?
Because like we African, sometimes you don't know how to explain to a child that, oh, you need to do this. There's time for everything. You need to have your time. You need to have a break. My son don't have a break. Sometimes you look at him, I don't know. He doesn't, he will leave the school, go for training for his ball. He will not come back home to eat. My mom will be shouting that if you see your son is looking somehow, he doesn't eat this. So I'm trying to say, please stay at home. Like come back from school, freshen up, then you can go for your ball.
Hmm.
So all those things. So I was like, okay, no problem. I told my brother, I said, I'm scared. You know what my brother told me? My brother said, when we were his age, I said, yes, our time is different. You know what is going on in this days? Yeah?
Is
You
it?
see
Is it
a child.
maybe? Have you had a talk with him? Maybe about. I mean, you are not there. The dad is not there, and he's living with grandparents.
Exactly. I talked to him. He said, no, he didn't say anything now of such, but I knew that affected him too.
Yeah, he might be feeling like you abandoned him.
Exactly. So I
But
was like,
yeah,
I
Nigerian
explained.
children. Oh, go ahead.
I explained his brother is not like that. His brother is just 13. Him is 16 now. So I explained to him, son, you need to study. Then you need to do there is some exam you need to do. Then you are coming here because already time has gone. So I wanted you at least I was like, thank God you were not even here because I'm telling you here, you can't train a child like that. I don't know how. As you were saying that obodooyinbo children is not is difficult. So I was happy that at least it was growing back home. Then before coming here, at least it would be like 16 before coming here. So what I noticed as I was saying, so I was scared and I said, I'm getting my son a therapist. My brother
Mhm.
said, nothing like therapist. I said, either you like it or not, I'm getting him a therapist. Because I
Mhm.
don't know why a son will write such things. Because I know maybe it was a depression. Myself, I was depressed and maybe I'm having problem with my heart that I've been treating. So, maybe,
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Yes. I know this is really difficult for you. Pele, take it easy, please. Take it easy. Èyí tó dá lọ́lọ́run máa ṣe lágbára Ọlọ́run. You see what I'm saying? People
amen.
are dealing with
Amen.
a lot. I mean, this is you here. You are here in the abroad trying to do your best, and of course you left the children with your mother, which is not, it's not something that is easy for you to do. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you felt this is the only way that you can cope. Their father is not
Yeah.
involved. And you say,
I
okay,
call
you're,
I
I mean,
every day, like I don't know how much I spend on credit. I will make sure I call these children because I'm trying to just make sure they are okay. Because
mm,
something about me, when a child, they are happy children, they are always happy. Once I sense it in their voice, I know that something is wrong. Like
is it boarding
some
school? Were they going to
they're
boarding
not
school or
in
day
boarding
school?
school. They go back home. They go back home every day to their grandma.
Okay, so it's a day school. They go and come every
Yes,
day.
yes. So even recently, I had to change his school because everything, every little thing, my son would be worried about. He say, "Hey, mommy, how are you going to pay my school fees and my work at the same time? Because the school is a bit high. Like maybe you should change." I said, "Hold on." Then I didn't even change it because of the school fees. I said, "So you know something? Because I'm trying to calm him down. You don't have to put any burden on yourself. You are not the one paying. I know
Why
God
don't
will
you?
do it. Just
What
don't
what
worry."
about boarding school? Why don't you try boarding school? Because there's discipline in boarding school. That's why some people like boarding school. Have you thought about that?
No, me, I mean, I was even worried about all those things happening in boarding schools. Though that was why I didn't even put them
No,
in
you
boarding
can
school in the
research. You
first
can
place.
research and look for a good one, because the thing is that if he has no, I don't know if he has any. Your brother that is saying you shouldn't get therapies. Is he
Yeah.
living in the same city? Does he have? Does he spend time with him?
That
Is there
was,
any?
he was even worried. He said he wish he can even stay with him, but I'm like, no, because you know him, he have his wife there, his children. I'm like, I don't want to put anybody on you because he himself is managing. I said, okay, don't worry, just leave him. He will stay there with my mom,
Mm,
and he will
because
soon finish
sometimes
his secondary
what
school.
boys needs is a very strong male figure in their life.
Exactly. That was what my brother was worried. I said
Yeah.
he said he needs somebody that is strong
Yes, yes, yes. I think,
around
I mean,
him.
there are a few options you can consider. If you ask me, I don't know the whole scenario I mean,
Yes.
about everything that's happening with him. But
Yeah.
if I were you, bringing him
Mm.
here will not even be one of the things I will be considering. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
because if
Mm-hmm.
you think it's bad in Nigeria, if you bring him here, he sees all the liberties in this environment.
Mm.
It might be
Mm.
worse. Even though I
Yes.
know you want to be with him,
Mm.
spend time with
Mm.
him, but
Yeah.
he's still young. You say, how old is he now?
It's too late.
16. And
16.
hey, you can still at that age still mold them.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can. It's not too
Yes.
late. It's not too late. So maybe spend if you can travel to be with him
Mm.
and talk to him and have
Yeah.
a meeting with your brother to see. Even if it means if you don't want to take him to boarding school, if it
Yeah.
means going to your brother's house and you finance his staying there, because
Okay.
boys have respect for men a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling
Since
you,
yes, that was what he told me.
they have respect for men. If my husband
My
is
brother
coming
was
home,
even hungry, talking to talking
everybody
to
will
him like,
know.
you are not there for your children. Why? What are you doing?
I
This
beg,
man
just
will
forget
not
that
talk.
one. Forget if your husband, whether it's your ex or whatever, doesn't want to
Mm.
be involved. What can you do? You can't force them. You cannot force them. Okay, but
Yes.
you can still try different things. For instance, maybe boarding
Yes.
school,
Mm.
or maybe living with your brother. But because if he
Yeah.
comes here now, if you bring him here at
Yeah.
16, he's almost finishing secondary school, Abby.
Yes. He's almost
Uh-huh.
finished. He was going
He's
to
going
write
to
his
university
writing
now.
next,
Uh-huh.
and by May he will write
By the
his
time he's
writing.
coming here, he's coming to A levels or going to university. You have to
Yeah.
work more busy. We were talking
Mm-hmm.
about the cost of sending children to university here the other day. There's
Yes.
a lot of work
Yes.
for you.
Mm.
Does he have documents that will entitle him to student finance if he comes abroad? Is he?
Yes. He have there is an opportunity to write a scholarship. So he's going to start attending class from January. Then he will write the exams and call
Mm,
him as a
yeah,
full scholarship. So
full
that was what
scholarship.
I'm trying, and so I'm trying to do that. I was like, oh, I'm even happy he's already 16 back home. Then he
Ria
will
said,
write
and
the
to me,
exam.
there's a huge difference between respect and fear. A lot of people have fear. For me,
Fear,
I think children
exactly.
need both.
Respect.
They need both. Fear is
They
good
need
too.
both.
Yes.
They need
Honestly,
both.
that's just my own personal opinion. Children need to
They
have a little bit of fear for you as a
fear.
parent.
Exactly.
Honestly, because if they don't
Because
fear you, they'll do anything they like. They can talk to you
exactly.
anyhow. No,
uh But
this is everybody
when they
system.
respect you, they'll be able to open up to you, even though they know
Yes.
that they respect you, they fear you.
Personally, I think they need both fear and
Yes.
respect. They need it. For me, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I mean, it's up to you. At the end of the day, you have a lot of options, things you need to consider in bringing him. Whether you want to bring
Yeah.
him here, he wants to remain in Nigeria. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody can. I mean, we can because we don't know the full story. But if he's saying he's not going to school, he's in
Mm,
secondary school, saying he's not going to school.
mm.
Does he want to go to uni now? I mean, these are the
Yes.
things that you need to look into. What is his?
Yes.
He likes football. Is it football
He
he wants to
loves
pursue?
football. Yes,
Mm,
and I told him, calm down. I'll register in an academy, but at least finish the work first. Then I'll just leave you to do whatever you want to do. At least finish one part, then we'll do
yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yes. Then
my battery
another
scan
thing.
today. This is a tough one. It's not easy to leave a child at home while parents are abroad, especially when
Exactly.
father
Don't
is
feel
not in
bad.
their lives. Yeah, yeah. It's not. It's not an easy thing. You are going to say another thing.
Yes. And those who say they are praying, what are you praying about? Please diagnose whatever it is that you think that you suspect in your child before you pray. Because even if you are praying, you know what to tell God. Okay, please, God, take care of this. That is all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
All the
Auntie B,
best, my
well
sister.
done. God
It
bless
is
you
well with
now.
you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you,
Don't
ma.
worry. By the grace
Amen.
of God, there's nothing God cannot do. Prayer is good too. Prayer helps. It's not like we're reading our prayer as Christians. You need to pray. Oh. The fervent prayer of a parent availeth much. Oh. You need to pray. Nobody's reading our prayer, but what we're saying is that when there is mental health issues, you suspect that there are mental health issues, get diagnosis and get support. Add prayer, join them. Add prayer. But nobody is saying nobody. I'm not saying nobody should pray. I'm not saying nobody should. I'm not saying people shouldn't pray. Okay, it is well. Okay, Ria, you're having a conversation there in the comment section about fear, 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 fear. Uh, I'm going to disagree with you on some of the things that you're saying there, but it's okay. That's your personal opinion. My own opinion is that, yeah, I believe children need both. They should fear you too. They should respect you and fear you too, because if they don't fear you, I don't know. It's not that kind of fear, 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 like they will see you and they'll be trembling, but at least that fear that, "Hey, if my mom or dad sees me this thing, they'll know that there's consequences." Somebody said in the show when we're doing this show the other day, that even at their old age, they still have some fear for their parents. Our orientation is different too, but my own experience with black boys, I beg, may they fear you. They better fear you. Hmm. Caro John, welcome.
Good morning, Auntie B.
How are you?
Good, thanks. I just have something to say in regards to mental health. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling from the US,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm an ER nurse. So basically, when we talk about help in the Western world, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to mental health, help is just right there at the tip of your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Ju- Just like we call 911 for cardiac arrest or anything at all, you can also call 911 for mental health. Meaning, if your child is 9 year old and this is a scenario, and you are home with your child, and all of a sudden your child becomes angry, and he's so angry that you can't calm him down. All you need to do is take your phone and call 911 and explain to the operator, I need
Mm-hmm.
psych help. My
Right.
son, my son is 9 years old, and this is what he's doing. I'm telling you, ambulance is going to rush to the scene, and
Mm-hmm.
they're going to bring that child to the emergency room. We have
Right.
we have rooms, we have helps, we have a lot of mental help, meaning we have psychiatrists. Whatever they need is
Right.
is right there at the emergency room. They will have access to those people that is needed. And if they need, and then they're going to assess them and see what they need and see what angle that can help that child at that moment. If it's medication, if it's behavioral help, there is help for that. And I think sometimes we don't know that there is help that is right there. When we talk about help, sometimes when you make an appointment with your GP or PCP, it takes a long time. So in order to bypass that, all you need to do is just call 911, and that's it. And with kids, and also as parents, we need to be patient with kids, and
Mm-hmm.
we have to understand that with kids, remember, they are growing. As they are growing, their brain is also growing, meaning their brain is also absorbing everything that is happening around them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they might not even be able to help themselves with how they feel towards a certain thing or a certain situation,
Amen.
because their brain is not matured. and
Mm-hmm.
and that is why, and also as the parents, we are going through a lot of pressure. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we think having a child is this entity that is perfect. My child
Mm-hmm.
cannot complain of mental issues or anything. And because of the frustration we're having with life, we we take it out on them. Not that we really want to do that, but we take it out on them by yelling, screaming, instead of being patient and saying, okay, explaining things to them and say, this is how this works. If this doesn't work this way, you got to do it this way. Or if we think we can't help them at all, call 911.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is the whole issue. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to make it short. So there was a
Mm-hmm.
kid, an 8-year-old, that was brought into the hospital with the parent. So this kid is so, I'm telling you, this kid is so disruptive. I've never seen any 9-year-old like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just to cut this story short, we end up giving this kid a heavy dose of medication. And can you believe, even that heavy dose of medication that was given to this medication did not put this kid down at all. So it tells you the nature of mental illness, how complex it is. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not just a problem of the parents. It's a problem of the trained specialties that knows how to handle this kind of cases that we
Mm-hmm.
that we need to run to for help. And as
Mm-hmm.
parents, I know we love our kids and we want to do everything right. We don't want to have a kid that has a mental disorder. It is fine. Who cares what other people think about us or my child? All we know is we want our kids to be healthy, not just healthy, mentally healthy, physically healthy, able to deal with what life is going to throw at them as they grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Carol John, for that contribution. I appreciate you talking from a professional perspective. There's help available. So that other Obodo farm that was saying about their own situation here, where the child is behavior is getting out of hand. There's help available at Joturi alone. There's help available. Get help. You don't need to be dealing with this by yourself. There is help available, especially if you live in the abroad. Mm? There's help available. Get the help that you need. Okay. There are some, sometimes when we're having this conversation, some side conversation can be distractive. It's just like when Abby was mentioning the other day about how, there's a spiritual aspect to it. That's, I quickly shut that down. I know Abby is in the studio. We're going to talk in a minute. Another part of it now is the one that Rhea is bringing up, fear or respect. It can distract from the main thing that we are trying to achieve. There's no manual to it. If you don't want your any element of fear in terms of consequences, when we say fear, we are not saying fear like they will see you and they'll be paralyzed, they'll be shaking. No, we are talking about understanding consequences. I was terrified of getting pregnant as a teenager because I was afraid of my mother and what she will do to me if I go carry oyún ìsọnù. Tí n bá lọ gbóyún wálé, I was so scared of the consequences of what my mother would do to me if I got pregnant as a teenager, and that kept me in check. So that is an example. So I don't know, maybe it's the language that is not passing the message across. I'm not saying that, children need to be terrified of of their parents or that, but I'm saying that your children need to have a level of fear to understand consequences. Because for children, as much as you teach them respect, if there are no consequences, it doesn't work. I don't know what your own experience of parenting is. Mine is different, but I've just given you a very good example. My mother told me, this is what will happen if you get pregnant as a teenage girl and bring that onyu isonu wasile. We are talking about, behavior now in terms of raising children and. And so I was so terrified. I always had that at the back of my mind. So everybody does what work for them. But me, I'm saying as a mother of boys that, yes, respect is good. Let them respect you. But you need to be firm in a way that they have some level of fear for you. I also said something funny just now that, what did they say? The fear of God. Oh my God. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Ria, I can see you want to quarrel with me today. You really want to quarrel with me today. I didn't disregard your opinion. I didn't say your opinion is invalid. Please, have your opinion. Let me have my own. It's okay. So we don't need to quarrel. There is nothing wrong with having a different opinion. If you don't want your children to have any fear for you, that's fine. It's okay. I'm saying my own points, and you can say yours. And I even highlighted some of your comments. So why are you coming for me now, saying that there's nothing wrong with someone having a different opinion? I never said that your opinion is not valid. Okay? You said you don't believe in fear. And I say, yes, a little bit of fear is necessary, in my opinion. And that's okay. Make everybody should stand in their own standpoint. It's good. It's fine. All right. So please don't come for me. Aderonke, good morning. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Auntie B. Um, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Where are you joining us from?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm joining from the UK. I called the show, I think, when we were talking about something similar to this a few weeks ago. But I'm also with you on the fear matter. There has to be a level of fear in parenting. So, but I won't dwell on that, because the reason why I'm calling today, I think when I called before, I did say that I work with children with complex health needs, and I
Right.
work in the community in the UK as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start with the phrase that is very common to us, where we say knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we talk about the spiritual aspect, which I'm not going to delve much into,
Mm-hmm.
even the Bible says faith without works is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I think for me, the area I wanted to sort of pinpoint on today is that there is a paper that was passed in the UK. I can't remember what year now, and it says every child matters. So every
Yeah.
child matters regardless of their disability, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of their health needs,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of their mental health, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
whatever it might be. And every child has the right to access, maybe health, education, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that they need. And I think
Mm-hmm.
the points that I really want to pass home across today, because I said in that last show that we had about early intervention, and not just even at the acute stage. There's early intervention in the community, and there is a lot of help that we can access within our local communities,
Mm-hmm.
especially here in the UK. Now we are talking about children that has different types of whatever that might be wrong with them, but there's also help available for even the in quote and unquote normal kids, where we have parental classes that is being offered in our community. But then I
Mm-hmm.
said earlier on,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge is power. I think one thing within our community that we don't seek out for is when we come from wherever we come from, you know, there's also a saying that they say, when you are in Rome, you behave like a Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not come with the mentality that we are coming from. I grew up, I was brought to the UK when I was 16, and I grew up here most of my life, and I have three children by the grace of God. And like I said, in your previous show, not one size fits all, but
Mm-hmm.
we need to ensure that we are seeking the help is out there in the
Yeah.
community. There is
Mm-hmm.
something that they call the Not to 19 team. So the Not to 19 are the team in the community that deals with children from 0 to 19. So
Right.
it extends to 19. It can even extend to 25, depending on the borough that you live in. Depending on the disability that the child has and the help that the child needs. So now, when we talk about the early years, it is not to 5 is when they fall under the care of an health visitor. So you would have an health visitor allocated to your child that you can even raise help with, because I know nowadays there's difficulties with getting appointment with the GP, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
long wait in the UK. But you can access your local child development center, where you can get that early intervention. So when
Some,
we now move, sorry,
somebody's asking a very good question here.
yeah.
Queen of Sheba said that most African parents are afraid to seek help because they think social services will collect their children. What do
and
you
and
say
I
to
have
that?
I have that point written out, because I've also written the point about the status point, where most people think maybe because they would collect my child because I
Mm-hmm.
don't have status. In fact, I have a a case that is known to me but not directly under my care, where the child is in hospital now, the parent has nothing, and this child is in severe health conditions, and the UK hasn't thrown them out. There is help out there regardless of whatever your status is. We shouldn't have fear for social services. They are there to help us, in regardless of how, or the information that we might have been given by our friends, our families. It depends on the situation, because with any matter that is brought to the front of a social service department, they investigate.
Yeah.
There's investigation that will first happen. And then, there is also the aspect of the voice of the child, because children don't lie. And, they tend to want to hear, what the problem is. And yes, some issues, there might be issues there. But then I think most importantly, like I said earlier on, African parents, we need to listen. We need to pay attention to our children. We need to want to get the help, because it's not how we used to do things. It's not how our parents, used to do things. It's not how we've been raised, because, oh, because I was brought up like this, you have to do exactly. For example, my dad did that. For example, we came to the country at 16, like I said, and because he did an early morning job, you have to experience what I experienced. It's not, it doesn't have to work like that. And
Yeah,
every single child is different. Every single
absolutely.
child is different. And I think those were the points. There's even in mainstream schools, before we even talk about the special needs school, there's the SENCO, there's the special educational needs disability
Exactly.
coordinator
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
every school that can
Yeah.
help you navigate the system. They help you
Mm,
fill the forms. If you're struggling with the forms, there's the availability there, there's the resources there to help you. You just need to seek and ask for the help, because if you don't ask, even the Bible says you wouldn't get. You have to ask for it.
absolutely.
Yeah. so
Absolutely.
so
Thank
so
you.
that those are my few points today. So
Thank
I
you.
hope, from today's lesson, I'm very grateful, because I think this is the second time I'm calling your show, and I'm very passionate because, like I said, children are future tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have to put so much into them, not by yelling. Yelling is not going to do it, not
Mhm.
by imposing our own views. They
Mm,
have choices as well. As much as we might think, I'm your parent, I'm your dad, you have to do this, you have to listen to me. We also have to, there has to be a level of conversation, and
mm.
a level of listening. We need to listen to our children. And when we listen more, when we work hand in hand with them, the future is great. And that's
Amen.
my little contribution this morning. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Thank you so much, Aderonke. Really, really appreciate you. So many professionals calling in with their professional opinion. God bless you for that. So, yeah, there's help available, whether you have paper or not. Don't worry. That can even be the route for you to get paper. People that don't have paper are usually so afraid of services. Oh, no, they don't deport you like that. They won't. Don't be afraid, please. Go out there and get help. Don't manage the behavior yourself, because you cannot. You will be tired. You will break down. Ruti's kitchen. People are still going on about this fear matter. I think Ria is angry now. I can't see her in the comment section. Ria, we are not fighting. Oh, please, oh. You are my regular subscriber here. I appreciate your contribution. So don't be offended, okay? It's just a difference of opinion, and your opinion is valid, okay? If you're offended, then I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean it to come across like that. But I've just given an example. I think fear is not the word, like I said, but I don't know any other word I can use to explain it. Abby, I'm coming to you in a minute. I want to read this comment because it's funny. Ruthie said, I can never forget what my mother did to me the day she found a love letter in my bag. I was in SS2. My God, she put so much fear in me that carried me through university. But I must say, it paid off. Yeah. I think that word is the fear of consequences, or what what will happen. Maybe I don't know. That's not the right word. Perhaps I think some people get what I'm trying to say. Okay. Favor Atta said, Auntie, I got that part of fear. To me, even as a young girl, I was so scared of what my mother would do if I ever got pregnant, that I saw so many of my mates were getting pregnant, and I couldn't dare. You wouldn't dare. It was very simple. My mom told me, if you carry belle, you carry. Guys, you don't even know how bad it was back then. Like this, my mother never had a talk with me about period. She never had a talk with me about pregnancy. She never had let's say the bibs. How did they say it? Bibs and is it bibs and bobs? My people never had a conversation with me about body parts, about men, nothing. She just noticed that I started seeing my period. Next thing she said, if you get pregnant, and she saw that, and teenage level now, you start talking to boys before you know. Even though back then we had our ways now, writing you love letter, you be going out when your mama send you message that's supposed to take 30 minutes, will take you 1 hour. Our mama, they are very, very smart. They know you've gone somewhere else. You are talking with boys in corners. They will go and tell your parents. Village people sabi gossip where they go gossip, tell your papa, tell your mama everything what you they do. No conversation whatever. Thank you, Roro. Beats, beats and beats. No wonder no somebody. No wonder no somebody the word today. Bass and beats. No conversation whatsoever. No conversation. All she just told me is, if you carry belle on this house, you are finished. And my mother was, I dey talk all the time, and she was strict. So me no say that talk, that thing will tell me so, it not be joke. It go finish me. So the fear made me know that, okay, boys, I beg. Mo ṣe wáyé ni, ẹ fi mí lẹ̀, ẹ jayé mi. I don't want to. Me ìfẹ́ lóyún because my mother. So that's what I meant by that. I hope you understand it, Ria. Watera said, I live with my 3 brothers. I had the same thinking of fear and respect boys need from men. But my 13-year-old told me that how can my uncle be a role model to me when he's, Igbo is involved. Oh, Baton. That one is serious, oh. Very, very serious. Chidiba said, village people, they are CCTV, natural CCTV. Village people can gossip. If they see you enter house, next thing you will be surprised. Say, how did my parents? I mean, this my parents. They get touched like that. They follow me. Now people they go tell them, you are finished. The fear of being finished. The blooming room, it was real. My mother put that, but it worked. Just like some people in the comment section said. It worked for me because I was conscious of it all through my teenage years. Onyu, belle. Oh, if my mom told me, if you bring Onyu son to this house, I would delete you. My dear, I won't advise anybody to do that. Obviously, now don't do that, but you get the message. Yeah, you get the message. Abby, welcome.
Auntie
Ria.
B.
Ria, you're welcome. Thank you. No problem. We are one. We are together. I know when it comes to the issue of talking about children, we are very passionate about it. So I'm glad you understand. Okay. Abby, sweetie, how are you, darling? Nice to see you.
I know, Auntie B. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Are you feeling better?
It's a journey, so each day brings its own day, but thank God. I just
Well,
wanted to make some clarifications. What time I know people were like, when they heard spirituality, their head just all the lights and everything just went off. But what I just wanted to share is that one, just like everybody had kind of mentioned in the chat, was that one, getting help first and early diagnosis. It's very, very important. So once, not again, I know we Africans, we tend to be in denial, so that's not what I mean by spirituality. Oh, God go in my pikin, not be my this, not be that. That's not what I'm talking about. If something is there and it's real, recognize it, go get the help that you need, and there is nothing in any sickness or anything at all. Early diagnosis is the first thing that you can do, so that you can first get prognosis and you can get the help that you need. So don't be in denial. But we are not saying that, again, if you're spiritual, we're not saying ignoring the spiritual part. Why did I say this? I said this to say, like, there is a very popular church, I don't want to name the church, but they have a program called Champions Club, and this club is for special needs kids. This club was formed
Abby.
out of, yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so
Yes.
okay, sorry. I was saying, why did I bring out the spiritual side of these things? What I'm trying to say, there is a church, I'm not going to name the church, but it's a well-known church in the world. There's a club called Champions Club. This is for special needs kids, and that was formed out of these parents had a special needs kid, not from birth, but all of a sudden their child, stopped talking and all. But because of the environment they were in and everything, all of a sudden, I think at age 10 or 12, the child started speaking. And the child started speaking. The exact words that the child all of a sudden was the words that the particular pastor was always saying before he starts preaching. And out of that bettered this Champions Club, this program called Champions Club. And they've been able to plant this Champions Club all over the world. It's in
I
16
think
countries.
the what you said that got a lot of people a bit, uncomfortable was you said that depression is
I will come
spiritual.
to that. I will come to that.
Mm,
So
yeah.
they've been
So
able to
that
bet.
didn't sit well with people. people because you
Yeah, I
already
will
know how
come.
our people are.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a statement like that can get people on, you know,
You
can
again,
get people to feel a bit
that's why I
uneasy.
had to
Have
call him,
unease.
because explaining is does better justice than just typing. There's just so much that you can type on the type chat session. You understand? So that's why. So if you plant yourself somewhere, it helps in the environment. One, two, especially like Oyibo churches, they have all the, like the specialist therapists, all that. But apart from that, they will also help you because you, the caregiver, you need that help. You will also have support because you have people going through the. Even if you don't want to go to a church, but like just like any other programs, for example, you have cancer, they have cancer support group. For breast cancer, they have this. You as a caregiver, you need that help because they'll be able to tell you. For example, I don't know about other places, but for like Canada, if you have a support group, for example, I know this because I used to take care of a special needs kid. You have programs, or the government have programs where they can give you disability check, because it will help, it will affect your finances. In terms of taxes, you have tax reductions in our community, so to speak, not to demeaning our church community or something. We don't really have that information. But if you were going to an Oyibo church and they have programs for special needs, those kind of information they'll be able to provide for you. As a caregiver, there are sometimes that you yourself you will be broken. But you need someone that say, you know what, I've been through this. This is how my child has been. By the time you see 3, 4 children that are now doing well, they've been able to, like a couple of people gave testimonies that they did this, they did this, they were proactive and they were able to overcome. So that's what I mean in terms of that. Now, in terms of depression, when I said that to say there are sometimes even we ourselves that, we they do normal things. There are sometimes that you feel depressed. I don't know about anybody, but for me, sometimes I know putting on spiritual and inspirational and motivational messages, or even just listening to songs, there's just something that awakens you. Even me, sometimes if I just cleaning my house, I make sure I'm in a clean environment. There's something it
Uh,
does.
can
You
I
understand?
interject? Abby,
Yes. Yes.
I see where you are going. I mean, I see where you are coming from with this,
Mhm.
but just feeling depressed or having periods where you just feel you have low moods is not the
Mhm.
same thing as having a diagnosis of depression. There's a difference, oh.
Yeah, yeah. That I accept.
Mhm.
Again, that's why I first mentioned that one, you don't have to be in denial. You have to
Uh-huh.
go seek
There's a
professional
difference.
help.
So I'm
Yeah.
trying to say that because when if somebody has a diagnosis of depression, for
Hmm.
instance,
Hmm.
it's not something that you can just put some light music. I'm not saying it
No.
won't help if you are
Mm,
listening to a spiritual music,
mm, no.
or it won't help. But it's not something that you just put music on and it will
No.
just go.
No. That I agree with you. It's not going to. But one, you have to again go get a diagnosis. Two, you have to be talking to a therapist or a psychologist. Three, there are medications they can help give to you.
Mm,
So that
mm.
is quite different. So that's part of why I said again, I called. I'm just the depression I said is not depression of when it has been diagnosed by a professional. That is
Why
way
did you
different.
say that depression is spiritual? Why did you say that?
I didn't say it's spiritual. I said it's a spirit.
Uh-huh,
You know,
yeah, why did you say that? Yeah.
okay, I don't again, I know this will trigger a lot of people. Of course, a lot of the reason why I said it is that there are sometimes again it's just like we mentioned now that there are different levels, right? It's just like there are different levels of there are different levels, right? So if you go meet a what's it called, a specialist, they will say you are clinically depressed. There are certain assessments they have done, right? For them to be able to get to the point where they tell you you are clinically depressed. It's different from what you and I were just talking about. We are just, we are bubbly, bubbly. All of a sudden, we are just in a mood. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to go out. That's kind
Yeah,
of
that's
different
just
from,
sadness. That's
yes,
just sad. And everybody gets sad at some point.
yes.
It doesn't
But
mean that you are depressed.
yes, sometimes we call it, again, in layman's speak, we say, people just throw that loose word, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed. But it's just because they are going through a phase in life. In that point, then that's where sometimes it starts from there, where you be like, oh, I don't think I'm a good person. I don't think I can do anything. I'm not beautiful. I'm not this. I'm not that. When you now start getting your mindset into that whole thing, then it now becomes like the devil speaking negative thing, and then you start upsetting it. But the moment you start listening to something that tells you, no, Abby, you are God's child. You are this. You can do it. Yes, you must have had this failure. You didn't write this exam. You failed this exam. But you know what? You can be able to study very hard and pass this exam. All those kind of things. And that's part of what we were saying, that you speak positive things. Yes, you want to discipline your children, but you also speak a lot of things into your children that are very positive. It
So
matters. So
I see what you are
so to
saying.
bring it down to your point to where you're asking is just, for example, let's take in the Bible, we know when they say this, they say a spirit entered into who? Saul. And it took what? Music, that David had to come. And whenever David is, that spirit leaves him. But when David stopped, that spirit will enter again. I don't want to go into deep into that. Everybody have the right to believe whatever they want to believe. But I wanted to just make clarification to say, hey, one, we should not be ignorant. That's one. Two, if you know that your kids or your loved ones have some tendencies, hey, early detection matters a lot. Don't be shy. Go get the help that you need. And if you do need support, which we all do, if you are not spiritual, if there's, so there are support groups, like if you go to some hospitals and if you are talking to your therapist, they do know support groups. You as a caregiver, you need that support group, because
I
there's
don't know
something.
about church support group or Abby. I'm being very careful around this because you know how our church, our African
And to
church
be, that's what I'm trying to
scenario
say, this
is.
is not African church. That's why I made, when I first started, I
Even
made
though
the
you go churches too, even some of Igbo churches too, there is stigma around this thing, and that's why. And it's not like I don't see what you are saying. Even the example you gave about Saul having the spirit and everything, our people don't need help with
when I
spirituality.
say support group, I'm not talking about church now. Like that's why I said, even if you are not spiritual, there are some. It's
Mhm.
just like, for example, people going through cancer, right? I don't know about the UK, but in Canada, they don't have different cancer care centers, right? And they're in there, once you are early diagnosed and all that, they would ask, what help do you need? Do you need support group? The person going through cancer and the caregiver going through cancer, they would enroll, if you want to, they would enroll you in those support group. Now, when you are there, it's just like people that go through alcohol, they call them AA programs in the US or something, right? In there, you'll be able to meet people to say, oh, and they invite people to that have gone through it to come and inspire you to say, if I've been through it, you too, this is what I did. This is that. This is what you can do. So some things that even maybe your oncologist or your doctor might not, it's not every time they'll be able to suggest, but they'll be able to tell. So for example, like I said, if you go to a support group, they'll be able to tell you, know what, maybe me that can, like, as an African, I don't know. But or if
Before
people be
you
able
even go to support group, you need to even first of all, go to the professional. It starts from going to get a diagnosis first to know that, or even accepting that you have. And the problem with mixing religion and I'm talking as a Christian now, Abby. I know, I understand you completely, and I'm not disagreeing with you. But the problem is that a lot of our people use religion or spirituality
that is
wrongly.
where the first issue lies, and that is what
So,
denial.
first of all, a lot of people who claim to be religious will say, it's not my portion, it's not my portion, it's not my portion.
Mm,
God forbid, I rebuke it, I
mm,
reject it. So that's why whenever we are talking about, using available resources, information, I try not to go spiritual at all because our people don't need help with spiritualizing things. They're
mhm,
already like that. So
mhm,
let's not encourage it.
mhm, mhm,
Instead, let's shift their focus to practical things, solutions that are available that can
mhm,
help people so
mhm,
that people can understand. They know. We don't need people to tell them that they should go for fasting and prayer,
mm,
buy anointing oil, go to be calling prophet. We're already doing too much of that.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm, mhm,
So I'm looking at this from passing out, first of all, creating awareness that this thing is real. People don't need to be ashamed of it. You don't need to be thinking of the fear of being stigmatized, and then getting people to accept, like the very first caller who called into this show said, my child has ADHD. I took him, the father wasn't even accepting it, but no, it's not in my family or whatever. But took the bulls by the horn, went to the doctor, got the diagnosis, get the support, get the professionals that can help the child, and the child is thriving now. Remember, we are talking about child mental health.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
So let's not go spiritual on this one
mhm. No, I
because
totally
it
agree
doesn't
with you.
help a
I'm
lot of
not saying spiritual, but all I'm saying is, one, we saying spiritual again is our mentality. We have to come out of that space. Is again, like, is any other thing, just like you say, like the caller said, if you have high blood pressure, they'll start praying, God forbid I don't have high blood pressure. I'm sorry, you do have high blood pressure. One, going to go and see a doctor, they have diagnosed it. Two, what do? You they will prescribe a medication. Three, what do? Lifestyle changes. You have to start exercising, start eating right. And by God's grace, if God is going to heal you, fine. If not, you have to live with it. But how do you live with it? You have to take your medications, eat right, and exercise. But the first thing you need to do is to accept that, you know what, I have been diagnosed with this. But the first place for you to get diagnosed is what? Go seeing a doctor, because what? You are not feeling too well. So I
Yeah.
totally agree with you that, but I'm also saying the journey is not easy. We can say
Mm.
get help, get help, get help. Yes, we're getting help, especially in the culture that we live in again. If you don't, you have to be proactive. I think that's where I
Mm.
really want to. You have to be proactive to really get the help.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Again, let's forget church side now, especially in all this. If you ask if you, for example, let's say you get the your son or your child gets, or your loved one gets diagnosed, right? The doctor will say, okay, this is what, this is the prognosis, la 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 la. The other thing goes, okay, doctor, how do I get help? Is there a support group I can go to? What do I mean by support? If you go there, they'll be able to explain things
It
to you.
support group might not be for everybody. You
Mm,
understand?
True, true.
Support
But
group
what
might
I'm
not be
trying
for
to say is
everybody.
that, because you getting that information to say, oh, my child has been diagnosed with it, first of all, that hits you. It's a
Mm-hmm.
blow in the face. But if you're able to get two, three people that cannot explain to you, hey, this is what this thing, it's not that bad. This is what we've known. Even the doctor might prognose to say, okay, this is what we are seeing. But if we go through all these steps and all through this treatment and whatever, there may be, doctor does not guarantee, there may be this. And then that support group will also help you to start, again, we are talking about we, the African, we are in denial. It will start helping you to get out of denial. It will start helping you to start facing reality. It will start
Yeah.
helping you to start seeking those resources. Like there was a crowd that was saying, okay, in those schools, these are the professionals that you can meet and talk to in those schools. Things like that. It start making you go and being proactive to get that help. For example, like I said, there's finances involved in this matter, right? So if you go, they'll be able to tell you, okay, you know what? Through your tax deduction, no, because your child has been diagnosed, you can get tax deduction. You can also get a social disability credit from the government. Things like that, which that help
Mhm.
you need, because
Yeah.
by the time you enroll that child in those programs, it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of
So
money, and in our community, sometimes we are not really enlightened about those things. So that's
yeah.
what I really mean.
All right. Thank
So
you
one
so
more
much,
thing I just
Abby.
want
I
to.
see what you mean. And I know where you're coming from. Nina didn't say thanks a lot for what you're doing, Auntie B. Nigeria's helping us to learn and unlearn. May God continue to strengthen you. Thank you for the super chat. Abby, thank you so much. I can see that you feel very passionate about this, and thanks for your contribution. We still got people in the studio, so let's take more calls very quickly before we call it a day. More fresh, you are next.
Hello, Auntie B. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you for the awesome show. I just wanted to make maybe one or two quick points. I remember there was one time, is it Uncle Ade or Mr.
Yeah,
Ade?
yeah,
He was making a suggestion to you during the show that maybe you should talk about parenting boys in particular.
yeah,
And I remember, I think you said, oh, that you would work on that. So I'm just putting it to you again that maybe, you should do that show and maybe you should invite him and maybe some men, because I believe it is very important that our
yeah. We
boys
need men to do
have
that
a,
show because even myself, I
exactly.
don't even know how parenting boys is difficult. So even me, as I'm here and I'm
Mhm.
struggling, so I'm not qualified to even teach. We need people who can volunteer to come forward because
Yes,
even my
yes,
own two teenagers is a battle every day. It's God that's
yes,
helping us. So we need
yes.
men who've raised men to come and tell us what they've done that worked for them.
Absolutely. So because he said that day, and I remember I was so excited that yeah, that's a very good one. So I just brought that up. And then the second
But
point,
Patrick is here, is listening, so I hope he will take up the challenge.
yes, and him too. Yes, it's very true. And the second point I was gonna make is with regards to the caller that just called just before I got on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Sister
Mm-hmm.
Ella? Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
Eddie,
regarding
yeah, Ebele.
Sister Eddie,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to mention regarding she was talking about the spirituality part. Yes, it's good, to pray, but she was saying something about the church. There was a boy there, and the boy started talking or repeated the same thing the pastor was saying. I have a daughter who is actually autistic, She's only 3 years old. And from my own research, because I didn't know anything about autism until I had a child who, was diagnosed with it. And from my own personal research, from dealing with autism, they are non-verbal sometimes at a certain age, but they can listen. So if they keep hearing something and you keep repeating it, maybe like a lullaby, or you keep repeating the same thing like praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Sometimes the first words that they would say is what they hear continuously, or repeat or you say something and then it can just come. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because that boy or the child was in church, that means that the pastor brought out I don't know. I'm just trying to say that we always like to spiritualize everything. It could have happened maybe if the boy was just outside and somebody
If
was
you
talking.
notice, if you noticed, Fresh, I was not too keen on that aspect of making this about spiritual. And that's why I was trying to explain to Abby that, okay, I see that your faith is activated and you're saying that it can help, but that is not what the show is all about in the first place, because our people don't need help
Yeah.
to over spiritualize things
Yeah.
already.
We are already over
So
spiritualized.
we don't need help.
Yes.
We're already in denial because we feel like it's not my portion, but we are trying to make them come to a place of acceptance.
Accepting it, yes. I mean,
And
I
if you are
remember when
doing
I was
that,
growing up, Sister B,
yes,
a lot of people who have child with special needs or something wrong with it, they would actually keep those people in the house. And people would just
exactly.
know that they have a child, but something is wrong with them. It's like there's always a stigma. They would always lock those people in. You wouldn't even have a diagnosis or know what was wrong with the person. You just know that they have a child or they have someone in the house that, they're keeping under lock and key. You wouldn't even see the person unless you're really close to them and you enter their house. You wouldn't know. So that's just my own cup of tea or my 2 cents. We shouldn't over spiritualize things, as you said, Sister B. Let us first seek the physical thing. I have a child with special needs, and I know that it is very important you seek the physical. If it is medication they need, if it is activities, if it is for you personally as a parent to, get help, whatever it is you need, but you can back it up with prayers and your own faith. Yes. But first of all, deal with the physical. Let us deal with the physical. So that's just my own. Thank you, Sister B.
Thank you. And coming from a parent who has a child with special needs, that's really, really appreciated. God bless you. Yeah. Religion is good. We're all Christians. We love the Lord. We know the promises that God has for us. But our people need to accept, even while you are waiting on God and praying and fasting, get help. Get a diagnosis. Don't handle it by yourself. You are struggling. The behavior, you cannot cope. Don't forget what's leading to this now. And this is the second time in London alone, in the same area. There was another incident that happened that Cynthia, one of our the farm here, was telling me. I didn't even hear that one. One in here, everybody to one a black family. I don't know whether they are Nigerians or where they come from. Grandmother, a sister, everybody look back. Is that normal? That's not normal. Because that behavior has been there. It didn't just happen the day. But one in Soja, they won't speak, they won't go out there. No, it's well, oh Mama Agbo. It is well, but get help. We are wishing you the very best, oh. All of you that are having children that you are helping, supporting with, different kinds of mental health diagnosis, whatever it is. We are sending you love because it's not easy. But God is able, and with the help, especially the help that is available in the abroad. If you live in Nigeria, it's a different thing. You live in an abroad, there's a help available, especially in the UK. Lots of help that is you are not paying for. They are not telling you to bring money. It's free. Okay, UK one is free. It's not. Nobody's going to tell you come and bring money. But our people are still not accessing these services. Why? This is what we're trying to unpick this morning when I should be cooking now. I'm here. My throat is paining me from talking this week. It is well. Nikki, welcome. And then we'll end the show with Brad Patrick. Good morning.
Good
Hi.
morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome to the show.
All right.
I've been a great fan of you for years, but this is the first time I'm able to call in.
Oh,
First of all,
okay.
I'm a parent and I'm also a psych nurse in the United States. So this is my passion, parenting and psych.
Right.
So I have to contribute. I know we said a lot of things that's good, and I don't want to overflog it, but I want to emphasize it again that Nigerian parents don't let us live in denial. Because I've seen kids at church, and I know many years ago I told a parent, and she flared up. She gave me the God forbid, snapping, takadanu, and all those things. So I know how it can be. But the main reason why I call in, being a psych
Mm,
nurse, another
mm.
thing that I've not heard anybody talk about is schizophrenia. In
Mm.
Yoruba, we call it simple weary. And the reason I call this, another lady called earlier talking the number 19s
The
pop out
children
of her
suffer.
mouth.
Children suffer from schizophrenia as well.
Well, late teens,
Okay.
late
All right.
for
Mm.
male, it comes out in late teens. So it
Yeah.
can come out in late teenager to early 20s. And for female, it's the onset is early 20s to maybe 30s. But the reason I'm bringing it out, it's because of male children have more issue. We've probably kind of noticed that from people talking. More male children have issue when it comes to mental health. So when we
Mm.
see the onset for schizophrenia in late teens, and I've had two examples that I know that I can say be closer to me that I know here in the
Mm.
States that they see that problem when the kid was like about 19. And now, at least I know for one of the mom, what came out of her mouth that really pained me was this child didn't have any issue all along. It might
Mm.
be some little things that you've seen, but they are in denial. They're snapping it up. They're saying, God forbid,
Yeah.
me, all those things, instead of taking care of it. So they don't
Yeah.
take care of it. Now, in the late teens, when they see the full blown of schizophrenia, we Yoruba will call it weary. Because of something like that. In the
Yes.
long run, it start disrupting, disorganized, doing all those things because the older some things that they could have seen earlier and take care of it, they didn't take care of it.
Right.
So and they're now ready to spirituality. And that's why I'm calling it, because I've had a couple of people that called earlier talking about spiritual issue. I'm not saying it cannot be, but in most cases, so you can imagine when you have this onset in late teens, maybe 17, 18, 19, and you'll be
Mm-hmm.
thinking, this child has not shown any symptoms for me. It might be there, you might not see, but at least you will not see in the blue phone. So now you're thinking, ọmọ tí ò ya wèrè ń kékeré náà ó ṣe wá ń ya wèrè lágbàlagbà. So definitely they're thinking it's spiritual. Oh, somebody attacking me. But the onset of schizophrenia is that age. So you see what I'm saying? A lot of times you see things, most things that you should do is seek help. The first thing you should do, Google is your friend. Yeah, not everything that Google spit out is 100% correct. Use your designing spirit. Use your filtering in your head. Filter things out. Google, get more information. Then go to the doctor. Get therapy. They will direct you to where you need to go. Don't be in denial. Don't be snapping. So a lot of times you might not see some things, and at certain age that you think you didn't see it all along, and you now see it, you will think it's spiritual, that somebody's attacking you. Nobody's attacking you. That problem came out full blown right now. You might have missed it when they were earlier age or something, or this might be the time that you were supposed to be able to see it more. So, like, I'm just using the example of schizophrenia for boys. It comes out in late teens. So some people would just sit there and say maybe it's I don't know, teenager problem or whatever. That kind of thing. Look more into it and seek help.
All right.
Ritual or his family attack, get spiritual, get medical attention and help for that child.
All right. Thank you so much
All
for
right,
calling,
thank you,
Nick.
Sister B, for all you
Appreciate
do.
you.
Love you.
Love you too. Thank you very much. She's spoken very passionately about, getting help and various mental health illnesses that, can happen to children and affect them, in terms of behavior and all that. So I hope parents are listening. Please listen. Oh, it's for our own good. Oh, ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run, as much as nobody wants it, there is help available. That is what we are hearing now. There's help available. Everybody has called in. All the professionals that have called in are saying help available, help available. Take up the help. Don't wait till this auntie, mama oní mama tó ti ṣiṣẹ́ ìgbà tó tó àsìkò tó máa fi jókòó kan jẹun ọmọ ń sìn na yẹn ọmọ go delete am. Please get help. That's all we are saying. No. Brother Patrick, good
Hey,
morning,
Auntie
sir.
B.
Welcome,
God
sir.
bless you, ma.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you.
I really appreciate all what you are doing. The last video about the guy that deleted the mom. You did a very good job, my sister.
Thank you, sir.
You are talking from the depth of experience. I really appreciate the way you analyze everything. I was working, but I took time to listen to it. I said, oh my God, that's your best video ever, I must confess.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yes, you analyze it based on your experience.
We did that. Brother Patrick, it was 7:30 UK time. I did that show that day. Can you believe it?
Wow.
7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like you are a morning person. Maybe I should say that.
I'm not even a morning. I don't even know the kind of person I am these days. Because of this show, I don't even know whether I'm morning or night. I'm all over the place. Zanila is asking, what are the signs of schizophrenia in boys? Please Google it.
Yeah. Boys are very
Check
difficult to parent.
Google. Check
Boys are hard.
Google.
I'm gonna share some experience with our viewers. As Auntie B, let me first of all talk about the father. When you go to hospital, there's always a questionnaire that they will ask you, does any of your parents has hypertension? Some of
Yes.
us that will know, we will say no.
We'll say
Might
no.
not my
We'll
yeah.
say no. We'll say no.
Yeah, does your
Family
father
history.
has a
Most of us don't know our family history.
Even those of us that knew, I was part of them until I realized, man, I have to say yes to this thing. Does your mom has hypertension? I will put a yes. My mom had it and knew of it. So we don't
Yeah.
have to deny ourselves. And I put in the comment section that your child is carrying your DNA. You need to look inward. Yes. I know of some family like that. I even know of a woman that whenever she gives birth, she has to go through it for 6 months.
Yes, that one is called postpartum depression.
It's in their family. Even the male have it.
Yes.
So you have to look inward. See what is going on. Sorry, I'm at work. So you
Oh,
might be
thank
hearing
you.
the noise.
Oh, God bless you, Brother Patrick.
So you know what happened is that, let me give you an example. My son, when he was growing up, he was very hyper. When we were in church, we are going to the white people's church then. We have a number, I can never forget it, 320. We sit at the back. Whenever 320 blink, like my wife said, yeah, my son, we'll go and carry him. Can you believe one day when he was like 3 or 4, he slapped a grandmama in the nursery. They were saying, let's share toy. He said, can you allow him to share? He said, it's my toy. He said, it's not your toy. Before the grandmama could talk, my son just slapped. Boom!
It's a lie.
And the light flashed. The light flashed went there. My wife was crying then.
Oh my God. I'm sorry to laugh, but it's funny, Brother Patrick.
My wife was crying. Said, what kind of
Oh my God.
is this?
Egbami. Chai.
It's the grandmama is white. Everything was just there, like the small sprinkler. The boy slap him. I said, oh my God. We are all involved. The only thing, when the boy was in middle school, whenever they do maths, he will be the first to finish. When we stand up from the exam and we go to his friend and begin to teach them, the teacher said, no, you can't do that. He said, no, they are my friends. I want them to be done. They don't know it. I'm going to help them.
So it was very intelligent.
After some time, the teacher called and said, Patrick, this boy, his IQ is above the class. We need to take him out of this school.
Wow.
So we have to take him to a special school. A boy that scored 95% in math, he said, no, Daddy, I have to retake it. And I'm supposed to get 98. Like, what? Are you kidding me? That's an A. He said, no. I have to talk to him. He said, no. 95 is an A. You are good. So, his own mental ability was channel. I was really involved. We didn't take him to anywhere. Whenever we take him to where the children are playing, my sister, it would just be kicking them. And all the white people say, come and take your child. This guy has mental issue. We channel his knowledge into sports. Yes, we channel his knowledge into sport that right now he's doing different kind of sport. This is his final year in school. The lady called me in their school because he has been suspended more than 3 times. The lady called me and said, Patrick, I'm sorry, I don't tell parents this. I've been teaching for 35 years. He said, this boy, he has a special brain. He's so smart, he challenges me. But the problem I have with him, whenever there's hot water, this boy is always there. I said, we know. So my sister was working third shift because of this boy. Because my wife worked first shift, I would be at home. You know how many times the principal have called me, Patrick, you need to come in right now.
And that's what they always do in this part of the world. They will be calling you. Anything. Even if your child is late to school, they will call you.
My son broke the computer in the school. He said, I just want to see. I didn't know it's going to fall.
I want to see what is inside.
So,
Oh
what
my
I'm
God.
say, I'm not saying we are perfect. I'm not, I've gone through it. We are talking about years. But what I'm trying to say, that parents has to be there. You have to use all the available resources to support your child.
Yes.
Yes. You have to use all the people that have spoken very well. I just said this in briefly. This was a big deal in my family. For my wife to be crying. The only thing that saved the boy from school, he said the only thing that if you go to the school from the gate, when you ask for the boy, they will take you to his class. Everybody knows him.
He was popular.
The only thing that helped him was that he was smart. The smartest. This principal said the only thing that helped you that we are proud of you. You are smart. We don't know the kind of brain you have, but you're always into trouble. He's the leader of all the white boys. All his friends are.
He's the ringleader of all the trouble in the school. So how did he grow out of it? How did you manage that because I know he's an adult now, right?
You remember he became president of his school and they suspended him.
Even as a president, they suspend president too.
Of the school because he's always getting himself into trouble. We have to talk to him, bro, as Auntie B. Begin to talk to him. Life is not like that.
Yeah.
We are allowed to make a mistake. His first girlfriend broke with him. I said, well, that's when I broke up with him. I said, well, he told me. I said, it's one of those things. Guess I'm going to break up with you.
Yeah.
You don't have to, yes, I'm his friend. We talk whenever I carry him in his car. We talk, When he was driving, my wife didn't know. I said, have you entered your son drive? He said, no, go and enter him driving. This guy drive. He called and said, please don't kill me. You speed a lot.
The way he speeds.
Even on the streets. I entered his car. Okay, let's go. You are going to drive me. He was driving like, no. You have to look at the side. I told you.
So it's very hyper. Did he get any medical diagnosis or anything like that for the hyper behavior and the intelligence as well?
You know one thing I must confess to you. When it gets to a level, we say, me and my wife, we dedicate this child to God. Whatever happened to him. We made that decision.
Right.
Yes, it was serious. I'm telling you. Yeah, thank God he was born here. If he wasn't born here, they would say we brought him from Africa. Maybe he has an issue. He went through all the medical. Nothing is wrong with him. He's just hyper. He went through everything, and we decided. I said, "Well, me and my wife said, well, we are dedicating this child to God."
At least you tried everything. There's no diagnosis. There's nothing. So
yes, in church, nobody taught him how to play drum. He just jumped. He's a drummer now. He played drum. Nobody taught him. And to be. He just went to drum, begin to teach himself. And he knows how to play drum now.
How old is he now, Brother Patrick? If you
he's 17 now. He's 17 now. He's going to graduate from, 17 now.
Okay.
He's my only son. I have she has 2 senior
Is that high school? Is that the age for high school in America?
Yes, he's going to graduate this year. She's going to graduate this year.
Oh, okay.
He's going to graduate this year.
Okay.
She has that was the only, for more than 15 years. Auntie B, somebody has been suspended for more than 3 times in school.
Wow.
You know when he wanted to go to big school, me and my wife just planned and say, well, you know what? We want this boy to go to small school. Everything is
Mm,
wisdom. Where we can,
mm.
yes. If he has gone to big school, he was the president of the school and they suspended him for being the president of the school.
Imagine
Yes.
suspending a president.
The
How can they even
yes.
suspend president? They too self, they don't fear. You're suspending a president for the whole president. No respect for president.
I don't respect. I said, well, that's
No
teaching.
respect for
You have,
president. What
you
kind of
have to
school
be.
is
You have to
that?
let him learn.
Oh my
Thank God
God.
he wasn't smoking or doing any other. That would have even been worse.
Yes.
Thank God for his life for that. But what I'm saying is that
Mm.
you have to explore all the sources and parent has to be there. Yes. If you have 2 jobs, you have to cut it to 1 job.
Yes.
Yes. If you don't do that, you'll be there when it's in rehab. God forbid that thing. You know what I mean? Yes, you have to. I tell you, I had to work 3rd shift in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my wife was a nurse working for us. Let me do 3rd shifts. They've
Mm.
called me several times while sleeping. Patrick, you need to come to school right now.
Mm-hmm. That's how they'll be calling you. They do things like that a lot. The schools are always calling parents, which is added pressure. I say even ordinary for a child being late, they will call you.
Yes, now
Eh?
they will call you. So
I don't know about American school, but UK schools there, I'm so sick of
why
them.
not? They will call
Honestly.
you absentees there now. They will be there now. So Auntie B,
Omo to yeke no legba. The
I,
way we were growing up, Mr. Eze will hold cane and be waiting for you. Tomorrow they will come early. Don't
Auntie,
know. They won't. They won't do anything. Then they will start bothering me. Why are you calling me? It's late in Bayanko. What am I supposed to do about it?
Auntie B, I put it in the comment section. My
System
father
self
broke
doesn't
my
help
my
them.
father broke my head because the tumbler I used tumbler because I know
Yes,
it's
I saw
plastic.
it, Brother
Because
Patrick.
the tumbler I wasn't clean. Can I do that?
Mm,
That was child abuse. But it's
mm,
a different ball game here.
yeah,
Parent has to be there for them. That's why you give back to them. Your presence
yeah,
needs to be fed. All
yeah,
these kids, boys, Auntie B. If I tell you some stories, you will not believe it. If I tell you, let me just cut it short. If I tell you some
mm,
story with boys, you will
mm.
not believe it. Boys are the hardest.
It's
I don't
hard
know
though.
about girls
Boys are
so.
hard though. I don't know. I agree. Oh, they are hard though. Girls are easier. But
Thank
I
you for the
mean,
opportunity.
thank you,
I,
sir. God
I,
bless you,
I
Brother
appreciate
Patrick.
it. Yeah.
Mm.
Bye.
Thank you for sharing with us. You see, you never know. You know people, you think you know people, but you never know of their own journey. We didn't know. I mean, we know Brad Patrick here. He's very popular here. He's one of our elders that we respect so much. But we never even knew that, he has a child that is paraactive like that. And even, he said that there was no diagnosis, that they took him everywhere. They just say he's active. So, you know, so that is just it. What we are saying is that as much as people, we're not saying nobody should pray. We're not saying that you shouldn't pray or shouldn't seek spiritual help, but still, first of all, try and see if there is a diagnosis, get the information. Don't be in denial. Especially àwọn tó ń pa màmá yìí, àwọn ọmọ tó ń pa ìyá. Please, I'm just going to say this to end. If you have an adult child who is still living at home and you are not coping with the behavior, he shouldn't live with you. He or she should not live with you. Especially if you live in the UK here. I'm talking to UK parents now. If you are a UK parent, you're an African parent, you have a child. Remember, I said why we even started the show was the fact that a lot of people put comments in that previous show about this late woman saying that they have family members who have adult children. They are still living at home, and the women are basically living in fear. They are living in fear of their own children because I read the one of Princess, 33 years old, still living at home, and the mother is living in fear. Please, it shouldn't be like that. Oh, if you're watching this, Princess, you need to tell your auntie to get services to take that boy and house him. He needs to have his own accommodation. He's a grown man. If he cannot walk because obviously he's mentally ill, then they have some special accommodation for people like that. Government will be paying for it. They will be paying for it. So you don't need to keep the child, the adult picking for house that will be causing you problem every day. Every day you'll be calling police. wahala, because you cannot cope with their behavior. You are trying, but you cannot. And they are stressing you out as a mother. Come on, look, no, Joe. That's why I'm doing this show. Get help. Tell the government, tell social services, they should give them accommodation. They have plenty accommodation. That they will put them. It's UK I'm talking about. I don't know how you do it in America. They have accommodation everywhere. They will put them there. And then they'll have services to support them. Please, if you think this information is relevant and we need to create more awareness, please give this video a thumbs up. Ejo, so that more people can watch it. And the information and all the nuggets has been spread today by both parents, professionals, people in the comment section. We can share this and let everybody know. I don't know about America, but people are calling. One auntie called from America and said you can call for help the same way you call emergency service. Give us a thumbs up. UK, plenty of help that you can access. You don't need to pay for it. If you are working, they're already taking your taxes towards those services. All those council tax that you are paying is towards funding all those places, though. So, you know what I find? Having worked in social services for a long time, Africans are the least to take advantage of services. We Africans, we don't. Oyibo, any small thing they will call you, I beg, come carry them. If not their papa and mama self, they will tell you to come carry their papa and mama. I beg, come carry them. I no fit. I'm working. I no fit take care of my papa again. Come carry and put them for home. Oyibo, no, they know they waste time. But we Africans, now only we go, they try to. And again, it comes down to, trying to spiritualize everything. You are praying, you are trusting God. But the begin, they curse you every day. They beat you inside house. No let begin God delete you. If not mental health or any behavior issues, anything where they go through, once they become adults, even as children, help is available. Help is available. House is day for even every kind of spectrum you can think of. Autistic children, children with learning disability, they get accommodation for them. They'll put them there. And these are really good accommodation, no, that they put them. They'll have their own room. They'll have support in place there. They'll have, they'll put them in college. The UK invests a lot in all these services. And part of your money is going towards those services because you pay council tax. You are paying national insurance. What do you think that money is going for? Is to fund these services, the NHS, social services. So make we take advantage of it and use it. Let's stop hiding in denial. The shame and stigma needs to stop. Ejo tori Ọlọ́run. Let us do better. Thank you so much, everyone that joined the show this morning, this afternoon. What's the time now? Wow, it's 2:00. Okay, I'm going to take a break now and rest. My people have come to ask me now, are we going to eat today? So let me go and attend to them. I appreciate you guys very much for today. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not done so, and may God help us. It is well with us. God bless you. Please, if you need mental health support, it's not me that you should call. I'm a mental health expert. Call your GP. Call your GP. It starts from GP. If you live in the UK, call your doctor. Don't call me and be asking me whether mental is spiritual, what are the signs of schizophrenia. I don't know. I'm learning. If you suspect that your child has mental health, you do the work. If you know if you use Google, if you research and go and meet doctor. Now their work, they pay them to do assessment. They go refer you to mental health services. They will assess the child. Thank you so much, everybody. Chidinma, love you too. Faith, appreciate you. Chichi, have you liked? Everybody should like. Let me go and attend to PJ. PJ is dragging me for food. They play with food though. It's the foodie in our house. Play with Timbele. Make I go find food for foodie. They hear me since when I scream for here. So make I go attend to them. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I appreciate you. Have a nice day. God bless you. Love you guys. Love you, Cynthia. Bye.